What is going on, everybody? Voidlego here, back with a brand new episode of Disco Elysium. Last time on, we finished up day 3 by checking in the church and finding out its mysteries, such as the quote-unquote crabman, which seems to be some drugged up dude that lives up in the bell tower and is kind of just chill with everything. He really doesn't care whoever comes into his church or whatever. He likes to hang out in there. We also found a fancy radio computer that was procured by a programmer who went to this church specifically to investigate an anomaly within the church, a kind of hole within the world, aka a single spot in the church where all sound just disappears completely. It's actually the same anomaly that deleted all of her data from a previous project she was working on, so she has devolved into this obsessive need to figure out what is causing this anomaly. Eventually, we also found out that the kids wanting to make a nightclub was actually planning on making it a speed lab and also a nightclub, so they weren't technically lying, they were half-truthing us, but we've managed to dissuade them from making the speed lab, and in order to convince the woman to let them in, we have to find her backup data, which is at the bookstore within Marnay's. And we also came across some good old-fashioned drunks that told us exactly what happened to us after we crashed our mortal motor vehicle within the ice, and how we were called Tequila Sunset, in that we were drinking and that, we kept crying to ourselves that it was our fault and that our wife was, left us and all of that. And after finishing up those things and reporting in the dead body on the boardwalk we found as well, we went to sleep. Now here we are on day 4, and hopefully I should be able to finish up those tasks, go to Evrart, pick up my gun, finally, after all this time, and see what else we can do here and upgrade my shivers to all the way so I can finally find Ruby. Because that's really the one roadblock that's been standing in my way, is to level up my shivers all the way up. So, yeah, let's get right into it. Alright. Let's go, boyzos. Actually, let me check my journal. Let me just see everything. Okay, that we're fine with. That we're fine with. We gotta call Alice today. Oh yeah, also this. Take on la responsabilité. Form a committee of moralists to assign responsibility. That's right, that. Okay, Spirit is eternal. We got this from our bow tie as well. Okay, we gotta talk to Laurel. Gotta do that. Noid, after that. Dead body. Shot came from. Island. Ruby in the village. Okay. Yeah, we pretty much got all of this, so. Actually, there's one thing I need to check real quick, because I think I have one thought that's like -1. Oh wait, never mind. That's date of birth. Which one's the thing that like destroyed my Here we go. This. Maybe I need to forget this, because that's giving me -1, unfortunately. But it's still giving me a warning cap, though. That's the thing. That's really the interesting thing about that. And you can't really tell what these other things will give me, fortunately. Okay, there's something I have to think about. So, but I need like the best shivers in order to finally get to Ruby, because I know where she is. I just need to get to there. I just need to get it. Alright, enough of that. Let's finally go. Let's go ahead, head downstairs. Alright. Man, I just love the vibe of this game. It's gritty and dirty, but at the same time it's kind of, I don't know, sweet in a way. It's very real. Take him. Alright, Morel. Let's talk to you, and also we have the RCM guys as well.
It's great to see you again, officer.
He grins,
My
bowing
wife
awkwardly.
can't wait to thank you. Go on, talk to her.
Alright. Hello.
Oh, sweetie,
Rena.
I don't even know how to thank you for finding my husband and helping him out. I hope we haven't been too much trouble for you.
I'm just doing my job, ma'am.
Here, I want to give you a small token
Aw.
of my gratitude.
She hands you a thin
It's a
ribbon held
tie,
together by a silver third
Mexican
scroll.
origin. The pin is an antique, quite special.
The little silvery knob holding the tie together feels warm in your hand. It's in the shape of an avian skull with 8 eyes.
Ooh.
You could ask her about this when you get the time. It's probably a cryptid, but the phasmid, of course, is more important.
You've never told me you've seen that plasmid.
Oh, you don't want to hear about some old woman's ramblings.
Ramblings? Nonsense. Your description of the phasmid is the most precise I've ever heard.
But darling, I didn't even get the size of it right.
I love that the cafe is like filling up with all these characters we've met.
Measuring things is important. How did she get the size?
That's a good point.
You were a child, my dear. Really. It's extraordinary what you were able to describe. Now go on. Tell our friend about it. He's proven his interest in the field.
Ah, so childhood dream.
That is a way bigger compliment than it sounds like. Reflexively, the lieutenant read his familiar notebook.
Even Kim's gotten in on it.
Well, it was summer. I was building
She
a racing
starts.
track out of sand on the beach near a tall stand of reeds. Quite a tall one. Many times my height, I remember. When, all of a sudden...
Wait, where was this and how old were you?
I'm getting ahead of myself. I was 5 and a half
5,
in
okay.
Betancourt in the suburbs. My grandmother had a summer home there. The
Good.
strangest moment
What
of my life. I looked up and one of the reeds moved. Not like a plant, but like a living thing. It stood up and looked at me. Its body unfolded like some antique toy. I've never seen anything like it.
She had no fear, just surprise.
I didn't know this can happen, so I reached my arm and touched the thing. It felt just like a stalk of reed, but it moved, swaying, towering above me.
She looks at you.
After a while, 20 seconds, a minute maybe, it left, went into the reeds.
Did you follow it?
I tried, but I was only a child. There was mud and high water. I couldn't see it anymore. I was just standing there knee-deep in mud, looking around me.
Then what?
I ran back home to my grandmother and asked her if reeds could walk, and told her they were looking at me. Of course, she just laughed at me, but I knew what I'd seen. For years, it was a story I told at parties when I wanted to impress boys. That sort of thing.
She presses
Of
her
course.
hair back.
Most people just took it as a strange, amusing anecdote. So did I, honestly. But then I met Morel.
We were on a date. Can you imagine? She tells me a story, and it's the most detailed report of the Insulindian phasmid I've ever heard. The sounds. She told me it hissed.
So that's how they met.
Yeah.
This is beyond significant for them.
This is how they connected.
It did, yes. Like reeds in a gust of wind.
That's really cute.
The way it moved, the colour, how some of its limbs were white, like marble.
He breathes excitedly.
It matched perfectly with what I know from other accounts. It was amazing. If it weren't for Lena, I might have given up hope years ago. It's no exaggeration to say that she restored my faith in my profession.
He looks at her with admiration, forgetting a wide smile on his face. How big was it?
It's hard to say how big things are when you're quite small yourself. To me, it seemed to be taller than I was then, but that's probably not the case.
What if it is the case?
You're on a date?
Our first, yes.
The old woman looks at her husband tentatively.
The glance is tender, yes, but tempered by something else. A thought she can't express, even to him. Interesting.
Its limbs are white.
Not all of them.
He
There
answers
is
for
some
her.
white coloration reported, along with beige, where the camouflage ends.
Maybe you imagined it, why not?
How could she? Who imagines this? She didn't know about the phasmid. This is the main thing here. What makes it a confirmed sighting? She had no previous knowledge of the insect.
It's kind of like, I know I've been referencing this a lot, but you may not go with those who have eyes believing in their individual truth. Without love, it cannot be seen.
So she couldn't have made it up, or imagined it.
That's true, yes. I'm almost certain neither my mother nor my grandmother knew of it. It was only when I started telling my story as a teenager that boys would tell me, Lena,
She lowers her voice, intimidating boy.
you trying to tell us you saw the Insulindian phasmid out there in those reeds? Get out of here.
She smiles.
They just give me a cider and ruffle my hair and tell me to stop dreaming. But I saw it.
Kim, what do you think of this?
I thought it was a wonderful story, man.
He closes his notes and gives her a simple smile.
But I don't believe it. A child left unattended on a warm day. Children make up stories and then end up believing them.
And something. Thank you for sharing this with me.
You're welcome, sweetie. I do appreciate the chance to relive it whenever I get one. It was just such an impossibly sunshiny day. So warm.
And she could get up and walk right into the reeds on her own. Into the mud.
Yeah.
Anywhere.
Ooh. That's all for now, man. Alright, let's check the morale. And oh, wait. Let me see this thing. Oh, it's a clothing item. Let's see here. A single bolo tie held together by an antique clasp in the shape of a bird's skull. The skull features 8 crevices for eyes. It's disturbing, but he can't look away. Ooh. This gives me +2 drama, but this gives me more in, what? In One Empire and Volition. October fishing. Maybe I should get this, but +2 drama is really good. I wanna use drama, but I'll keep this on Maidways for right now. Alright, let's go talk to Morel. So we have Gary.
Nothing like the gratitude of a good woman. Now then, what can I do for you?
It gives you a gruff pat on the shoulder.
He tries to play it cool, remain professorial,
Yeah.
but inside, this man is itching for some news on those traps.
So I checked all the traps.
Good. Okay.
He breaks his calm.
And?
And one of them was empty.
Completely empty?
The cryptozoologist's eyes grew wide. Yes, there was nothing in the trap. No locust, no plasmid.
No locusts? No phasmid either?
That's not ideal, but
He rubs his chin.
It just means
The
the
woman's face
Insulindian
lights up.
phasmid is even more clever than we thought.
She's engaging in a well-known self-deception called motivated reasoning. You should correct them.
Maybe.
Of course, more
Detective
clever.
responds to himself, yeah.
You're dealing with a subject near and dear to their hearts. It might behove you to tread lightly.
I don't want to ruin this poor old couple's, hopes for this. I mean, this is the thing that got them in the relationship.
yes, the Phantasmadeia picked off the locusts and escaped. This is good news, though we'll have to reconsider the design of the traps, make them more secure.
This is like one of those things like believing in Santa Claus that you don't want to break. Or believing in the Golden Witch.
Another trip to the reeds.
His companion's eyes. Are you sure you've exhausted all the alternative explanations? I want to tread lightly. But I want to put in some doubt. Just
Of course we have.
Scribb's face flushes with indignation.
Wait, Morel.
The woman raises a
He
hand.
may have a point. We have an obligation to rule out other hypotheses.
You're right, dear.
His face
It's a fair
relaxes.
point. But what other explanation could there be?
He turns to you.
Pardon me.
Well,
This is a big deal for us. You've helped us twice now, and brought some great news too. My gratitude, and the gratitude of the Société Cryptozoologique, de Ravachol is yours.
So it reminds me of Maurice O'Hare.
Heartfelt gratitude. But does it feel like closure? What really happened?
Thank you, it's an honor.
He says with a straight
We
face.
should probably return to our main investigation here. This has been refreshing, but...
Helping cryptozoologists isn't really a priority for our organization, is it? The lieutenant looks out the window, impatiently.
Let me do this real quick. Develop an alternative theory about the missing locusts.
Consider the way the empty trap was disturbed, as though shaken.
Yeah.
Most likely the hands of a young person. Hands small enough to fit inside the trap.
I mean, there is 3 kids.
You should ask the red-headed boy, Kuno.
I think a little hooligan called Kuno may have stolen the locusts.
A little hooligan? But what would a child want with bugs?
Yeah, it's Kuno for you.
Oh, my dear
Shadow
Morel.
Lord passes over
You've
the
been
woman's
an old
face.
man for too long. Kids love to torment insects almost as much as they love to torment old folks.
I'll talk to the little gremlin to see if anything comes up.
Delinquents. My favorite.
It doesn't sound like it's really his favorite.
Oh, you've been such a dear to us. Please let us know whatever you turn up. I have a feeling we're getting so close.
Missing insects case.
Well, I see you've got all the help you need.
The man turns to
I'll
his
see you tonight at
companions.
my place. Let's play suzerainty, but no more field trips for me.
What is your dear, Gary?
This is a slippery one. He may respect the law, but mostly wants to pass under the radar.
Ooh.
You won't get a chance to talk after you walk out of here.
Gotcha.
He hasn't been particularly forthcoming before. He may well still be hiding something. After he's left, it's too late.
Gotcha.
Really, Gary?
The one's voice is a little shaky somewhere.
We're getting somewhere here. I'd love to play suzerainty, but
Lena, I'm sorry, but you're not getting anywhere. It was some kids. I know the little mutants around here. Leave anything out in the open and they'll steal it, even if it's bugs.
He looks at his tea.
Morel, it's been fun, really, but I need a bath and I have deliveries to handle. When this tea is done, I gotta run.
Okay, you gotta stay in this building for a while, then talk to Gary.
No need to apologise, Geary. You'd be more than helpful. We'll have to take a rain check on that game of suzerainty today, though. We're gonna follow this through.
The first man to break formation is always a blow to leadership. This is bigger than he lets on.
Okay, I'll get going then. Might as well just talk to him right now then.
Always a pleasure to see an officer of the law.
Of course you do.
I mean, officers.
Cryptozoologist. Maybe I'll talk to Morel just a little bit more. Just a
Hello,
little bit more.
officer. I think I almost have it. A new trap design, that is. I know you're skeptical, but I have a good feeling about this.
Tell me about this plasmid you're looking for.
Well, first of all, it's damn difficult to find, which is why we've been knee-deep in the reeds laying traps for it.
How big is this plasmid?
I'm expecting it to be quite giant. One known species of phasmid, called the Megaphasmodea zoensis, is about the size of a grown man's forearm. So,
He leaves his conclusion up to you. What makes it so difficult to find?
good question. Being a phasmid of the order Phantasmodea, a ghost insect, it disguises itself as plant matter. In this case, the reeds.
He looks around.
Awful lot of reeds around, aren't there? And I suspect it may have also developed other specialised techniques to protect itself from predators or scientists in our present case.
What sort of specialized techniques is the phasmid using to hide itself?
It's my hypothesis that it has evolved certain electrochemical defences that allow it to interfere with animal perception, impeding pattern recognition, confusing the visual cortex. But I cannot describe how these defences work, much less how they evolved, without studying a live specimen.
Why are you so interested in the stick bug? Aren't there more sensational animals out there?
Typical rookie assumption.
He flashes you a sideways
Insects
smile.
are much more sophisticated creatures than those unversed in zoology give them credit for. Even simply catching a glimpse of the Insulindian phasmid would be the apex of of any cryptozoologist's career. But to study it and its defenses, find out how it stayed hidden so long.
He shakes his head.
Would be glory itself.
What have you discovered about it so far?
Very little, I'm sorry to say. No one's ever captured a specimen, so all our information is based on first and third-hand accounts.
So no one's ever found one.
Not yet.
He holds up
That's
an
what
index
makes
finger.
it a cryptid.
Just out of
These
curiosity,
checks.
if there's no proof of its existence, how do you know it's real?
I know it's real.
Cryptozoologist says, briskly enough that even he seems taken aback by it.
It's clear that his obsession with the phasmid is driven by something more than the pure pursuit of scientific advancement.
He wants to prove his wife white.
By which I mean, I've heard enough first-hand accounts
Says Gavin,
to
so-
believe quite firmly that the Insulindian phasmid is more than mere superstition.
What makes you think the phasmid is here in Martinez?
There was a credible sighting here recently. A pair of teenagers described a creature that matched the Insulindian phasmid to an uncanny degree, despite not knowing what it was themselves. It's the first credible sighting in several decades. Admittedly, it's an unusual location for this species, but with all the sewage runoff upstream, it probably doesn't matter much anymore.
Maybe the insulin plasmid has died out?
I have to resist the thought.
He shakes his
Such
head
an
vigorously.
extraordinary creature is doubtlessly highly resilient. After all, it's generally thought to be capable of parthenogenesis.
Got it. Parthenogenesis. Parthenogenesis?
Yes, the females don't need males to reproduce. Makes it easier for a species to survive in adverse conditions.
Interesting. That's pretty clever.
Yes, the Insulindian phasmid is a very clever insect. That's why it's so damn difficult to catch. But as a scientist, I try my best to remain dispassionate.
Let's talk about specific cryptids.
All right? What
He's eyes you
cryptids
skeptically.
precisely? I usually discuss these things with specialists, so I don't know what.
We would have to discuss. He wants to say, but decides against it. Since you've offered to help, you need to ask him about specific cryptids. Cryptids you've heard about from Lena or his friend Gary. He won't just talk.
Okay. Just tell me about a cool cryptid, any cryptid.
No offense, officer, but I'm not much of a pedagogue. I don't know what I would have done if Lena hadn't persuaded me to go back to field research. You should ask her if you want interesting stories.
Now I wonder if I can talk to Gary about this.
Me? I'm not a people person, unless you haven't noticed. And I don't make a good lecturer. My strength lies in field work and persistence.
He brushes an errant strand of hair from his eye.
Oh,
The woman chimes in.
anytime, just ask. I know those critters in and out. Not quite at the level Morel does, but still.
Enough tales then. Let's change the subject.
By all means.
Coughs and wipes his mouth. Alright, let's talk to Gary then. About cool
Always a
cryptid.
pleasure to, I mean,
Just
officers.
never mind.
No.
They're probably...
God. What if I... Okay. There's
Oh,
something,
hello,
Gary.
sweetie. So
All right.
nice to see you again.
Maybe you could convince her to tell you about some cool cryptids.
There's really no point in manipulating anyone. You're chummy. Just go on and ask.
Hey, Rana, I'd really like to hear about some of those juicy cryptids you've studied. Could you tell me about a couple?
Oh, I'd be delighted.
Wow. Is this bird a cryptid? Point to the tie she gave you.
No,
Her eyes narrow
It's-
mysteriously.
the cryptid.
Wow. The cryptid?
Oh, yes.
Small silvery skull shines between your fingers. It speaks sharp. Okay. What is this bird?
The eight-eyed teratorn, the largest flying avian ever discovered, with a wingspan of 11.5 meters. It was thought to have gone extinct 3,500 years ago. Some even doubted the fossils were real. A mutation, they said. Until
Mutation?
The man scoffs.
All of evolution is a mutation.
Until.
Until it was cited by renowned Gottwaldian explorer and naturalist Uwe Plattenkalk in 21.
This renown seems a bit dubious. Your own catalogue comes up completely empty. But, of course, you are not all-knowing.
I need to hear about this sighting.
It happened on a botanical expedition into the vast and unexplored Oamrau Canyon in southeast Ilmara. Dr. Plattenkalk got separated from his group during a sandstorm.
Okay, and Umawao is...
The world's largest canyon system, sweetie. It's a barren waste east of the Erg Desert. An ancient riverbed completely dried up.
What happened?
Alone in the blasted desert heat, the doctor wandered eastward, where man hasn't stepped foot in over 1,000 years, since the fall of Pericarnassus.
Damn.
He was lost, without any navigation equipment, and desperately low on water. After a day or two, he noticed a bird high in the noon sky. A great black bird. It seemed gargantuan. Every now and then, the bird would dive down to feed on an animal carcass somewhere on the horizon. But by the time Uwe got there, the Teratorn had taken off already, and the carcass was picked clean.
Wow.
This happened many times.
Eat the bird. Uwe. It's the only way to survive.
I understand. He started hunting it.
Yes, a bird that big has a lot of blood in it, and he was dying of thirst. For many days, Dr. Plattenkalk followed the Teratorn until they reached a great canyon wall where the bird finally landed to rest. The professor climbed up there with a rock in his hand. He found the bird sleeping with his head tucked under its wing, a great black pile of feathers on the perch. So he approached, slowly squeezing the rock in his fist.
Ooh.
Watch out.
Then, the Teratorn suddenly looked at him. He could see it had 8 eyes, 4 on either side of its skull, like a spider. And the man couldn't move. He was paralyzed, frozen into place with the rock in his hand. Whatever he did, he could not get closer to the bird.
Why?
The bird was controlling his mind.
Whoa.
It kept him from approaching. He could step back, but every time he stepped forward, paralysis. Uwe spent 3 days trying until the bird flew away.
Hold on. How did he survive to tell the story?
The 8-eyed Teratorn was indifferent to him, as long as he didn't get closer than 2 steps. It even let him feed on some carcasses up there, and the 2 unfertilized eggs it left behind.
An 8-eyed mind-controlling bird? No way.
Yes, way, sweetie.
She smiles, used to
Cryptozoologists
diversion.
have been tracing it ever since. But Wamrau is vast, mysterious, and holds many secrets.
Interesting.
Modern radar telemetry shows great promise. We will confirm this one by the end of the decade, latest.
It's very funny because we don't know this world. I mean, for God's sake, there's Pale, a fucking substance that covers most of the world's surface. So, like, why wouldn't there be an 8-eyed mind-controlling bird in this world? I don't know.
This one I liked.
Lieutenant
Not
points
only
down his
does it
notes.
have 8 eyes, and is a living fossil, and the largest bird ever to live, it also does mind control.
He's sincere.
Oh.
He likes the audacity of it.
So that was the last anyone saw of it?
Sadly, yes. But there are numerous reports of 8-eyed bird skulls from Ilmara. And then there's the striking resemblance to the Pericarnassian imperial eagle, an ancient heraldic symbol that is hard to pass off as coincidence. The imperial eagle, too, had 8 eyes.
Not really. It's just stylization. The way they drew eyes. It's not a zoological drawing.
Very, very hard.
This one's very famous. Everyone knows it. People will be looking at that tie on you and thinking that man is into cryptids.
She
So,
winks.
what else do you want to know?
What's the biggest cryptid?
That would be the giant of Kokonur.
She says as if it's common knowledge.
The giant lives in the most arid parts of the vast Kokonur Desert in South Samara, casting a strange light across the barren wastes.
Wait, what do you mean, strange light?
Mirage or psychogenous luminance.
She does not elaborate the nature of this luminance further. And just how big is it?
No one knows for sure. It is like an awful mountain appearing from below the horizon and expanding to cover almost a third of your field of vision.
Is it dangerous?
The towering luminosity of Kokonur is a bad omen in local folklore. Some say it's a Fata Morgana, others, fate unimaginable.
Fata Morgana? Like House and Fata Morgana? Or was it Fate Morgana?
Who are you?
The Lieutenant
No animal
interjects.
can be that large. It's a mirage.
That's what makes it so peculiar. A species surviving at the very limits of scientific law. The giant of Kokonur must be the largest animal the planet can support. There are limits, you see, to how large a metabolism an ecosystem can beget. Some say a gravity anomaly below the Kokonur Desert might allow the creature to grow to these gargantuan sizes.
Gravity anomaly? Digging it. Digging this parascientific stuff right here.
What's the tiniest cryptid? I might as well just go for all this.
Cryobacter catlensis.
She answers immediately. Cryobacter cadwensis.
Yes, a unicellular bacterium that was discovered in one of the northernmost points of Kotla on the Boreal Plateau by renowned geologist Caitlin Mijanou some 70 years ago.
What's so special about it?
The bacterial colony Mijanou found had remained alive while frozen in ice for longer than anyone could reliably estimate. Certainly from before recorded history. Mijanou disappeared shortly after injecting herself with the bacteria she had brought back to study. No doubt in hopes of prolonging her own life.
Wait, she injected herself with it?
Yes, the bacteria had survived in the ice since times immemorial. It is not hard to see where she could have gotten the idea.
Damn, she injected it into her fucking... Wow.
It's actually a little hard to see.
He looks like a
But
respected way.
do go on.
You mean there's an immortal geologist wandering the world?
Yes, and she's quite mad, too. After she treated herself with the bacteria, she stopped aging, but also became increasingly eccentric and irascible, so that even her oldest friends were forced to pull away.
Damn, an immortal geologist? That sounds cool as shit.
We can assume that she has been living somewhere in the wilderness for decades now, all alone except for the Cryobacter catlensis coursing through her bloodstream.
Damn, these cryptids are fucking awesome. What's the most dangerous cryptid?
The gnome of Jeroma.
She pauses for effect. The gnome of Jeroma. That doesn't sound too bad.
Oh, it is. None of his victims survived. Grieving relatives never even found their bodies because the gnome's venom dissolved organic tissue.
What did this cryptid look like?
It was reportedly a small creature with webbed fingers and a protruding forehead and a gangly little thing. Quite scary to look at.
Huh.
A couple of campers found it when it was already dying. They heard an odd wailing in the woods and followed the sound. They were scared and wrapped it in tarpaulin to suffocate it.
Damn.
It still took
She looks
the
at your
gnome
voice,
of
Grace
Jeroma
Emily.
an entire day to die.
If the body of the creature was found,
Lieutenant can help
why
himself.
aren't there detailed illustrations of it in science textbooks, confirming the existence of this very little species?
Alas, the first scientist who got his hands on the creature's corpse put it in a jar of formaldehyde. thinking that
Formaldehyde?
would detoxify the gnome's venom.
Put it in acid?
Instead, all the venom leaked out of the creature's teeth and into the surrounding liquid, dissolving the creature itself. A poetic end, perhaps, but a real loss for science.
She says mostly to herself.
Alas, always, alas, and then it was gone. Isn't that overly convenient?
Seems very convenient that it just disappeared and nothing like it was seen again.
I understand
She
your
nods.
skepticism, but that's what happens with things that are rare and stand out. Their disappearance is most memorable, and they are least likely to be found again.
Is that a cryptid on this pen you gave me? Take out the pen she gave you.
Yes, it's the kind green ape, half war story, half undiscovered species in the genus Homo.
War story.
Yes, it was reported by soldiers in South Safra during the war. The kind green ape would visit bunkers during the night, healing wounded soldiers with its saliva.
Wow, with its saliva?
Yes, it has amazing healing qualities.
Huh.
Some soldiers reported growing back limbs, regaining their sight.
A giant green ape healing people with its saliva. And there was something about an undiscovered subspecies of man.
Indeed, there is. It's our closest relative among the cryptids. Same taxonomic family, different genus. Which is to say, the kind green ape is a species with which we share a common ancestor and that evolved parallel to our own. Just like your partners.
Pretty sure Kim is the same species as us. Suggest otherwise is stupid.
The lieutenant looks at you, pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I didn't mean to imply that Saelites are inferior to us in many ways.
She turns to Lieutenant.
You are superior. For example, your earwax doesn't have a foul odor like ours does.
Huh.
A tremendous evolutionary advantage, I'm sure. But perhaps we've had enough speculative biology for today.
A little bit more, Kim, don't worry. Are there any invisible cryptids?
What an interesting question. And the answer is yes, there are.
How do you know you can see them?
Of course.
Oh,
All fairy tales have someone or something invisible in them.
shush, Kim. She's going to tell me about the invisible cryptid. What is it?
It's the Col de Mama d'Aqua. Its
The woman collects her
name
grasses.
means thin whisper of sound, and that's precisely what it is.
Wait, what?
Self-replicating sound waves, invisible and intangible. The Col de Mama is very afraid of us, which makes it incredibly difficult to track.
Thin whisper of sound.
Col de Mama Dakwa can also be translated as a whisper light and low.
A whisper, white and low.
Yes, that's another translation.
Her eyes right up behind her
They're both
glasses.
quite lovely, aren't they? Although the low part is a little ironic. The Col de Mama d'Aqua makes, or rather is, such a high-pitched sound that other animals, including humans, can't hear it. It could be everywhere all of the time, and we wouldn't know.
A sound anomaly and a cryptid that's described as a whisper.
Fine, I'll bite.
Lieutenant looks at her
How can an
skeptically.
animal be a sound?
Many scientists have asked the same question. Some have claimed that it isn't itself a sound, but a tiny corpuscle that emits sound waves. But there's no evidence to support this theory.
Could it be here? Look around. Right now?
It could be.
She says calmly.
As I said, it could be everywhere. And we wouldn't know any better. It could be ringing all the days of our lives and nights.
Maybe it's predatory.
What if it's predatory?
It's not. Don't worry. If it were predatory, we would have found it by the damage it inflicts.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be so sure. What if the damage is also invisible?
What evidence is there of this animal being a sound?
Plenty. It's the evidence that led to its discovery. In the 20s, a group of Areopagi ornithologists, that is, scientists who study birds, were trying out a new recording technology for capturing sounds outside the range of human hearing.
Okay.
When playing back recordings they had made in the foothills of the Ea mountain range, they noticed certain anomalies, patterns that seemed random at first, but on closer examination were consistent with the waveforms of songbirds.
Just nod eagerly.
The scientists soon discovered they could track and even predict what appeared to be feeding, mating, and migration patterns based on sound waves in a strictly delimited range of ultrasonic frequencies, even higher than those of the highest pitched bat calls.
She transforms, when speaking about these strange animals, into a confident woman.
It's her, fixation, really.
They realized that they had discovered a new species and called it the Coldamama Daqua, after the Paracanassian name for the voice of God, which is said to be very silent.
Go on.
They grew quite obsessed with these little birds. Even though they couldn't see them, they could distinguish among individual birds and
She smiles.
even began to name some of them.
Name them.
Sequester, Time, Joscan.
She nods.
Those are but some of the Mama Daqua they followed individually.
Why is the Mama Daqua so afraid of us?
That is a sad story.
She frowns.
A group of university students assisting with the field work in their enthusiasm for the project, and no doubt because they were preoccupied with impressing their professors, nearly drove it to extinction.
Extinction.
They tried to communicate with it and had no other means but sound. So they started sending out sound waves at frequencies they thought might match the Mama Daquas. And what happens when a sound wave meets another sound wave of the same frequency, dear?
Cancels each other out?
This lady really should be a teacher. She's really good at the explaining things thing. Psst. They cancel
Yeah.
each other out.
They cancel each other out. Thank you,
Exactly.
Encyclopedia.
And these tests were performed so recklessly that when they happened upon the right frequency, well, they wiped out most of the population.
Great regret washes over her. A wending cloth.
After that, the corpuscle appears to have migrated elsewhere. There have been recordings of anomalies similar to those spotted in Ea, but they've been few and far between. It's impossible to confirm the presence of any stable Coldamama Daqua population anywhere.
Interesting.
Of course. A common thread in these. Disappearance and unfalsifiability.
You can see.
I like
it's-
the story, though, ma'am.
I'm glad you did, dear.
She seems genuinely glad. Interesting. What about...
What about what?
Man, I just can't get enough of these cryptids.
I'm glad you like them, but I'm not really one to tell you about all of them. You should ask my husband if you get the chance. He's the real expert.
So for now, man. Anything I can do with Gary?
Always a I mean,
Fucking Gary. This guy is fucking with me.
Hey, was
You know it's
there
a greeting.
something you needed?
Well, well. Bringing him that new bird sure made a difference in his attitude.
About my bill for tonight.
Got the 20 real?
Yep, 20 real for the night.
Good. You got the room for the night, but remember, you'll need another 20 real tomorrow.
Yep.
How could anyone forget, asshole?
Shut up, halfway. Don't be a dick. Okay, it's almost 9.
Hello, officer. I think I almost have it.
Cryptids some more.
I already
Nice, you
did my
skipped a
best
break.
to inform you. I don't really know what else I could discuss with the layman.
Layman, you always have to prove yourself with this man, which means you have to provide the cryptids. Maybe he'll answer.
I know about the most dangerous cryptid, the gnome of Jeroma.
Formerly the most dangerous, yes. But do you know the most dangerous living cryptid?
He doesn't want to make it feel like you knowing it is some big deal.
Okay. Living? No.
The most dangerous cryptid is a carnivorous ruminant, known colloquially as the dread moose.
The dread moose?
Yes, the dread moose subsists entirely on flesh.
Whoa.
It has even been known to dig up fresh graves in search of sustenance.
Hold on, does it also attack people?
Human remains have been found deep in the forest, torn apart, then trampled into the mulch by large hooves. Infer from that what you will.
Okay, what does the dread moose look like?
Just like an ordinary ardent moose.
Then how can you tell if it's the ordinary or the dread kind?
You can't. That's what makes it so dreadful and hard to identify.
That's an interesting cryptid.
A moose that looks like any other moose. What's going on here? He's kidding, right?
I'm not completely sure about this dread moose.
The bodies found in the forest are just one piece of physical evidence. There's more.
What's the other evidence?
The recent surge in the moose population has hidden carnivores. The dread moose are effectively removing competition for both themselves and their evolutionary cousins.
But why would it need to hide its carnivorous nature?
Moose are already being hunted for sport. Can you imagine what would happen if they came to be viewed as predators?
Fair point. What exactly is the relationship between carnivorous moose and regular moose?
The carnivorous moose are a very young species, the result of a genetic mutation that fared well in the process of natural selection. It makes sense that such a majestic animal with natural weapons, antlers, would come to rule the forest. The only strange thing is that it took so long.
Are there any reliable eyewitnesses accounts of a moose killing other animals for food?
One slaughterhouse at the outskirts of the woods in Vasa reported that its staff kept seeing moose in the distance. The moose would just stare at the building, as though they were waiting for something, its eyes bloodshot and full of cruelty.
That does sound suspicious.
And that's not all. Some of the slaughterhouse apprentices went hiking by a nearby creek and saw a moose nibbling on an unidentified carcass.
This isn't something unique. Various species of deer have been known to scavenge when plant food is scarce.
Anyway, there is more than
Settles
enough
down.
evidence to justify a thorough search for the dread moose. Let's close the subject before it turns into an argument.
Here is a man who has had more than his fair share of heated arguments and would, surprising as it may seem, prefer not to have any more.
I know all about the kind green ape. Look, I even have a kind green ape pen. Take out the pen.
I see you've been talking about cryptids with Lena.
He smiles.
The kind green ape is one of her favourites.
A warm wave passes him. Of course, the kind green ape is her favorite, he thinks.
I mean, a kind green ape is something nice to imagine.
We travelled to South Safra to look for it once. Gary and I got stuck in a rainstorm
Gary.
and had to spend most of our time there in a little village. The search was fabulously unsuccessful, but the people were very nice. I'm glad they didn't understand what Gary was saying about them.
Oh boy.
He's a good and loyal man, despite his ramblings, the elderly cryptozoologist thinks to himself. Their relationship transcends Gary's politics. It must to work. Plus, a guy like Morell knows a thing or two about being on the fringes himself, though his fringes are different.
Know the biggest cryptid? Giant cocoa nerve.
That's impressive, I guess.
He's not
But
seen
have
that
you
price.
seen it with your own eyes?
No.
Of course you haven't.
You seem satisfied. Have you seen it?
I haven't had a chance to travel to Coco North. No. And I likely never will. The Samaskill desert region has been embroiled in a small civil war for the last 8 years.
Of course.
I fear this mindless barbarism may have wiped out the elusive creature entirely. Sightings of towering luminosities have grown rare recently, while they once used to be constant.
Yes, sightings of mirages are constant. A mirage is a constant phenomenon that people have no time to report when a war is going on. It remains unclear what this has got to do with you seeing it, as he was inquiring before. He was just being defensive.
I know about cryobreaker catawenis. Ugh.
Everyone knows about that one, thanks to Professor Mijanu being the talk of the town for a time.
He coughs in his fist.
A bit of jealousy there. He'd want that glory, truth be told, even if he'd have to inject himself with bacteria to get it.
Although, probably because her life ended as a result of her work in Gutler, no one remembers her contributions to the search for the Nong Ok.
The Nong Ok?
A flightless cursor owl, found in the Seminine Isles. Its long legs permit the Nongok to run faster than any other avian. Perhaps any other animal. Who knows? When it's not hunting its prey in this manner, the Ock hangs from tree branches, like a bat, waiting to dive on hapless prey below on the jungle floor. Mijanu liked extreme animals, you see. One of the few figures of the academic establishment I respect. Really a shame she disappeared.
When did she disappear?
Oh, decades ago. In the 30s. I didn't know her personally, of course. The chasm of academic pretension still stood before us, even though she had unusual courage for someone from the other side.
Interesting. Which cryptid did you almost catch? You said before that you almost caught one.
A willow person. It's a long story. One non-specialists would find rather dull.
Willow people? Not at all.
What are willow people?
They're not people, really. Some argue they aren't really animals, as they seem to have evolved directly from trees.
He says it in a self-explanatory, everyday manner. Evolved from trees, huh?
They're very, very thin, almost flat in fact, and can camouflage themselves easily, wrapping themselves around trees and blending in with the tree bark. In that way, they're not too dissimilar from the phasmid we're looking for here.
Wait, so I may have seen these willow people without knowing it.
You probably have.
How did you almost catch a willow person?
Gary and I painted an entire grove's worth of trees in slow-drying paint. It was a bright lavender colour. I was hoping one of the willow people would get paint on it and not be able to camouflage itself. After waiting in hiding for hours, I saw a figure slip from one of the trees, a lavender shadow, dashing through the grove.
And then?
I chased it with a net. Not very elegant. You can't be elegant in the field. And, well, it was faster than me.
A lavender shadow.
He smirks.
I know you think we were snacking on funny mushrooms. It's easier to mock someone than to admit that the world might be more interesting than you've imagined. Furthermore,
He raises his finger.
I'm not saying it was a confirmed sighting. I'm painfully aware of what goes into verifying such things. There is a serious possibility that I saw a squirrel or a trick of the light. I am my own harshest critic.
Or maybe it could be Gary.
He makes it a real point here to sound falsifiable.
And when a sighting of plasmid, is that...
Confirmed.
You price quickly.
It's 100% verified and meets all the standards of an authentic cryptid sighting.
The woman nods thoughtfully, while her hands smooth over the plaid covering her knees. There is some uncertainty in that motion, no? Smoothing the fabric like that, as if looking for some kind of confirmation.
Enough tales then.
By
Change the
all
subject.
means.
Okay. Well, can I talk to Gary one last time? Last time, I swear.
Always a pleasure. I mean,
Okay.
officers.
There's nothing I can really get off Gary, unfortunately. I've already spent too much time here. So, alright, time to get the hell out of here. I'll go talk to Kuno first since he's nearby. Or maybe, you know what? I'll go to the motor cage real quick, or more motor carriage first. Then I'll go talk to Kuno, because I do want...
Was that? Could it be the Col No, it's probably just your imagination ringing in your ear.
Jeez, I wonder how my computer fucks up like this. Is there a ringing? Listen more closely.
There seems to be an extremely high-pitched ring. Ultrasonic. Lena said it was very high-pitched, right? It's like something tickles your ear.
What does that sound?
Lena also said that it couldn't be heard by any other animal, including humans. What you're hearing must just be a regular bird.
Probably.
Honestly, your ear isn't hearing a whole lot. The distant hum of the industrial harbor, the traffic. But, admittedly, There is a high-pitched noise somewhere there too.
Ooh.
But then, isn't there always?
Listen closely first.
There it is again. You are about to rediscover a long-lost species.
Keep listening.
It must be very close. Maybe, just maybe, it will come toward you.
Wait, Kim, do you hear a high-pitched noise?
No, I don't hear the Coldomama and neither do you.
Of course he doesn't. He's deaf.
Move your head towards the sound.
Oh no. The sound. It's moving away. Somewhere over there. Go after it. No. Too late. It's gone. There is no ringing anymore. Just the sound of the streets.
A little bit more. No, come back, please. Listen more.
Keep your ears peeled, then.
Ooh.
If the species really has migrated to Martinez, you're sure to hear it again.
Interesting. Well, back to work then. We've had enough with... Who the hell are these guys?
Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone, a pull-out...
Pick up the
This is
radio.
Precinct 57. How may I assist you?
Did you find out more about the owner of the armored boots?
Yes, I got the mercenary's name and a few biographical details. Are you ready?
Alright, let's get to it.
The lieutenant leans in to listen, notebook in hand.
Shoot.
That suit of armor was issued to an Oranese citizen named Ellis Cortenaer.
Ellis.
That's
Alright.
Ellis Kortenaer. Exact date of birth unknown. He was signed into the Lelystad County Neonatal Care Unit on 28th of February 09.
Neo National Care Unit?
He was found as a newborn in a leaf compactor near an abandoned farm. He spent 4 months in the neonatal unit, survived apparently, and was assigned to a foster family at 2.
Okay, so abandoned.
This is what the ICP knows about him. He was raised by foster parents, entered the Evrart Military Academy in Voidlego at 17, then served in the Oranese forces till he was honorably discharged in 41, just a year before the Seminese conflict. Then the armor followed him to Seminine, or at least I assume it did, and that's it. There are no records of his employment in Crenel, or any of its other incarnations, or him even entering Revachol.
Interesting. Wait, he was found in a weave compactor?
It's a garden tool used to press leaves into these cubes. It's a detail the hospital had, the only detail in these files. So I thought it would be good for you to know.
Interesting.
It is. Thank you, Alice.
Any information on his foster parents?
None, officer. Sorry.
So all we have to connect him to Colonel is the armor.
Even that is a small miracle. These organizations usually double-check their inventory.
He leans closer and
Thank
shouts.
you, Alice. Great work.
No problem, Lieutenant.
She sounds pleased.
A compliment from Lieutenant Kitsuragi. Not bad.
Well, we have his name and service record now.
A name. This
Yeah.
is very good. Ellis Cortenaer.
He says to himself. Hey, we finally got his name. It's Ellis from Left 4 Dead. Let's go ahead and level Shivers up.
Sometimes police work is about human dignity, about giving back names to anonymous victims.
Yeah.
I'm glad the inquiry was helpful to your investigation, officer. Did you have any other questions?
Connect me to Jamlock Public Library.
I'm afraid they're closed. It says here that the library is open from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Okay.
We should try again during...
So 10.
Anything else, detective?
So I just have to wait an hour. Okay.
57, over and out.
Your voice disappears into the
In the
void.
cabin, you see a set of steering levers.
Actually, I could call survey again. But I want to talk to these teenagers with "fuck the world" on them. Hello, gentlemen.
That's one brutal motor carriage.
Says a young man with piss wearing on his back.
If I were a real skull now, I'd jack it, paint it in palm tree livery, then bottom light it, neon style.
His companion wears a simple yet elegant slogan: "Fuck the world."
A snazzy shit-ripped skullmobile like this would make a fine trophy. We could, like, hang fucking shrunken heads from the side mirrors. Cops' heads. Scary tribal shit.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, tribal shit.
He
A cop
agrees.
carriage like this would have proper skull value.
He steps in.
While I appreciate the interest you take in my brutal motor carriage, I have to stop you right there. The RCM takes threats directed at its property seriously.
It's just theoretical work, Copper. No basis in reality.
He turns to his
Man,
companion.
if we were certified skulls right now...
Part of a gang. Who are you?
I can tell you who we're not, cop. We're not snitches or skulls.
But that guy has piss F swore on his jacket.
Which is not to say that the skulls are bitches and... On the contrary.
The part of this presentation you want to take home with you, cop man, is we're not part of the skulls yet.
Uh-huh.
Okay then, let's indulge in some intellectual exchange. These young men seem eager to share their beliefs.
Who are the skulls?
You don't know? What kind of cop are you?
It's not a question. Don't get into it.
No, I really don't.
The skulls are the most vicious gang of the Besmertne.
His voice wings with excitement.
Besmatine, or the Besmati, the Immortals, are West River Sholian crime syndicates.
The nastiest bunch of psychos ever. Jacking carriages and getting into high-speed chases.
So Mad Max type shit, huh?
Possessing an infinite amount of fuck-all swagger, infamous for their non-verbal modus operandi.
Non-verbal?
If a skull spots you, he will pull out his dagger and stab you without saying a word.
Ah.
The lieutenant's voice is as calm as usual, a testament to the violence and death he's witnessed through the sight of his firearm.
They usually occupy the burnt-out quarter in Jamrock, or you can find them loitering around their brightly painted bottom-lighted vehicles.
I can't wait to become a skull. Bottom lights are wretched aggressive.
Do you know anything about the murder that took place here? Point to the yard.
Murder?
A man was hanged in the backyard of the Whirling Wags.
Yeah, sure. We'll gladly tell you everything we know about it.
He curses forward.
It was a man.
Of course.
Also, he was hanged.
Don't fuck around. I'm the wall.
He was hanged from a tree.
Yeah, I mean, duh.
Of course.
These punks don't know anything. Let's just move along.
Hey, stop right there. How does one know anything?
Alright, buddy.
Ah, this sounds like epistemology, a field so occupied by thought that it begins to question thought itself.
I know that you don't know. I'm not going to entertain you with this any longer.
Sure.
Well, I mean, this is quite
Understandable.
interesting.
Fuck, and I appreciate your effort, though.
Do you guys know Cindy the Skull?
Oh, yeah. Cindy's a right proper skull.
The young man's eyes graze over, his voice filled with longing.
Yeah. A
There,
true
guy, what's up
artist of
to?
the future. Just like Arno van Eyck.
By the way, if you see Cindy, give her our regards.
He adds, returning from whatever void he was just visiting.
For all their nihilistic posturing, these young men are not lacking in youthful idealism.
Probably trying to join it to impress her.
The lieutenant on your left is unusually lenient toward them.
I see you kids are into andronic dance music.
Oh man, yeah.
He
We're
exclaims
not
in substance.
fucking kids, man.
Rest of your question.
Be wary of the abyss.
His blonde friend adds anonymously and points to his temple. I still didn't say it right.
Probably because of how non-verbal their mode of operation is going to be.
To
It's a threat.
Manchester to levels. I just wanted to talk about music, and now there's a conflict all of a sudden. It's too much. Nervously shake your head.
That's right.
The young man says,
You-
looking unsure of
You
himself.
should back off and let silence rule supreme.
What is wrong with you? Now you're just empowering these punks.
This is ridiculous.
The lieutenant gives you
Guys,
military
do you know
grants.
why the gang is called Skulls?
Yeah. The skull symbolizes the embrace of death and nothingness, present in all of us. The vehicle of our future operations. Death and nothingness.
How nihilistic.
They're called Skulls because when you are shot dead in the middle of the street, the skull is the only part the stray dogs want to eat.
Just trust me and follow my lead.
So, boys, want to feed the dogs?
No reply. The blonde rebel scratches his chin, deliberately not focusing his gaze on anything. He looks very uncomfortable. The other one shuffles uncomfortably, nevertheless continuing to steal glances at the lieutenant's motor garage.
Why aren't there more skulls in Marnez?
The Union does their share of policing in Martinez, at least where gangs are concerned.
Of course.
That's why there isn't much organized crime around here.
Apart from the unions themselves, of course.
Of course.
Don't you worry about that. We're gonna make up for the deficit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we are.
Young men exchange approving nods. Your rhetoric is confusing. Are you a part of the skulls or not?
We're not franchise skulls. Well, not yet. Once we get our name out there, we'll have a chance to join them.
And what makes you think that the organization would accept you?
Because we can be just as psycho and vicious. You'll see.
Uh-huh.
But in a non-threatening and definitely legal way.
The other one quickly adds and whispers something to his friend.
We'll fuck the system from the inside later. Just be cool now. The damage will be tenfold.
Yeah.
Right on, fuck.
Blind
So
agrees and
what's
spits
happening
on
now?
the pavement. Enough about this skull then.
Mm-hmm.
For Kima. What's with the jackets?
What about them?
Turn to the blonde youth. What does your jacket have? Piss written on it.
Well, first off, it's a statement and not necessarily something that characterizes me as a person, even though the statement has character. And I do like piss.
Yeah?
The word piss epitomizes the struggle taking place in the world. Things being defined as they seem, not as they are. And, I guess, it's also about communal spirit, the future, and truly appreciating our differences.
Interesting.
Also, you've got to admit, it catches the eye. And since the Grand Piper is slowly but steadily moving towards basing the economy on it, attention, it is imperative that the medium itself convey the message.
Makes sense.
What I mean by this is, we are all pissed, and that the world is inherently meaningless.
So nihilism.
It seems that the young man has a certain expertise in at least one field, even if it's rather narrow.
Why do you have the word? Do you have "fuck the world" written on your jacket?
Like I said before, many men keep searching for the one, for so-called true love, which is actually just obsession masquerading as kinship.
Yep.
The thrill of the chase, the hollowness that fills your chest cavity after catching it.
Yes, indeed.
I'm wondering if the poetics come with the jacket, or are they derived from something else entirely?
To catch a fish, you'll need to hurl the lure many times, and even then it isn't certain that you'll get anything. If you blow up the lake, though...
That is a terrible metaphor.
You get more fish in a shorter time. And, for time is of the essence and fleeting ever so quickly, one must think of a way to fuck the whole world and not get caught up in fucking someone.
Uh-huh.
Because when one fucks everything, he fucks nothing. And that, to me, feels glorious. Sticking your dick into the void.
Indeed.
Hate to admit it, but in a weird way, he's got a point.
Just nihilism.
Is it a coincidence that here we have two badass jackets and two badass cops?
Hey, Kim, warrior voice.
Yes?
What do you think about their jackets?
Leather jackets adorned with immature writing? The ideology they convey helps the boys justify poor choices in life and fashion.
Ten
I'm a
shrugs.
fan.
Why are you always so patronizing? Why are you always so patronizing with when so patronizing when cool possibilities cross our path?
What are you implying?
Which one would you wear?
I'm not sure I understand you, detective.
Are you more of a piss or a fuck the world kind of guy?
Neither.
Come on, Kim, it's just a mental exercise.
Fine, if only to end this discussion. Theoretically, if I were a juvenile delinquent, if I were to already be down that path, I think peace is the stronger of the two statements.
That works. I feel like more like a fuck the world kind of a guy.
Seems about right,
10
especially
remarks.
considering your heroic exit attempts.
That's an origin story for a dynamic duo right there.
Fuck yeah.
So are we done here? Or
Oh.
you don't need us around for your secret whisper party, do you?
Oh, ask for the jackets for yourself and the lieutenant. Kim showed good tactics. They're just off-brand skulls. Ooh. Well, talking with you has definitely been something. Ooh. Okay. Now it's finally 10, so I can actually call into the fucking library. Thanks for it, boys.
Inside, you see a set of steering levers.
Just had to
a
waste a
radio
couple minutes.
microphone, a pull-out to
Pull out
This
the
is
radio.
precinct 57.
Jim
Hold
Mark.
on, officer.
Okay.
I've got Central Jamrock Public Library on the line, and I've already introduced you to their librarian. Connecting the call in 2, 1.
Here we go.
Yes, this is Central Jamrock
Ooh.
Public Library here.
The
How can I help
librarian
you,
answers the
officer?
call.
He sounds worried, yet ready to assist. This is how people get when the police call.
I'm looking for any information that you can provide on Billy Majuan, a reader.
Billy Majon, you said. Give me a moment, I'll have to check our database.
Puts down the receiver.
On Moreau Drive in central Jamrock, in a darkened hall lit by orange desk lamps far away from the noise outside, a middle-aged man taps commands into an old radio computer. A printout falls on the desk. Behind him, a lonely reader scours some dusty bookshelves, looking for a paperback.
So Shivers is like kind of like the same thing as the Cool D Ers. Or I fucked that up. I can't remember the exact wording for it, but it's kind of like that.
Yes, hello, are you still there?
You can hear him fiddle
I
with the
found Billy
printout.
Majon's home address, is that alright? No phone number, unfortunately.
Hmm.
They're too poor to have a phone line.
Hmm. Yes, home address is fine.
Here we go, sir. Rue de Saint-Gislain, 33B, apartment number 20.
Ah,
It's in Martinez, I believe. Cape Side Apartments, it says. That's all.
gotcha.
That's where the smoker on the balcony lives, isn't it?
Do you have any other information on Billy Majon?
It says here that they returned their last book just a few days ago, but I wasn't at work that day.
Do you know someone who was?
Marie?
He covers the front of Sam and yells out into the room
Do you
behind him.
remember a reader named Billy Majon? They returned a Tybalt book the other day.
Hear someone answer from afar.
Yes, it was my colleague Marie.
The librarian
She
speaking
said
to the
that it
phone
was
again.
Billy's husband who returned the book. He also asked for this new sci-fi release, Lowe's Radio City 87, but we don't have it yet.
Ah, okay.
Good. You have a name now.
Hmm. Do you know the husband's name?
Sorry, no. Marie only knows him by sight.
Can Marie describe to me what the husband looked like?
Marie?
Moment passes.
She said it was an older man, and that she's pretty sure he'd had a drink or two the last time she saw him.
What was he wearing?
1 second.
Library turns away from the phone again and relays the question.
Sorry, Marie wasn't really paying any attention to that.
So Billy Majon is a woman, not a man. How did your colleague know that it was her husband?
Marie knows Billy. She's been working here longer than me. Sometimes her husband returns some books for her.
Ah, okay. So, okay, that was the husband we found. Gotcha.
And then goes for a little drink later. On the lookout.
Thank you. That's all from me. I have no other questions. And call with the
Happy we
library.
could help. Goodbye, officer.
The librarian hangs up and the call gets redirected back to the station with a soft click.
Anything else you need from me?
Please connect me to Sylv again.
Just a second, officer.
Might as well just
Sylvie Malaika on the line for you, officer.
a little bit more.
Yes. Hello?
You recognize her voice. Hey, Sylvie, it's the police again.
Oh, great. What else do you need,
Sinful.
detective?
Okay. I don't think there's anything else. Wait. Tess Kuis's stories. Was it you who called the police?
No, not me.
Okay. Do you know who made that call?
No, sorry. I don't.
She clears her voice.
Not a lot of people have phones around here. Copper thieves take the wires. People don't have the money to have the cables put in again. They use the Union's phone, or the one on the coast.
So the Union has a phone, and there's one further down the coast. Got it.
Seems like Glacier wasn't lying when she said it was her.
Yeah, the lieutenant makes
This
a note.
corroborates her story. She made the call.
Yeah, just tested that out.
She iseth the fairest of them all. The ugliness of lies would never escape her lips.
Okay, next question.
Yeah, go on.
Got everything.
You hear the call breaking up on the other end of the radio, and then the already familiar voice.
Anything else I can help you with, officer?
Done.
57's over and out.
Spears
In
into
the
the
cabin,
void.
you see a set of...
Okay, well, got those. Let's go talk to Kuno. Verified Kuis's story, so we can write that down as well. That's all good. Let's go talk to Kuno then. I feel like that's a good thing to do. Maybe go talk to Tommy a little bit, just to get a little bit more information on Ruby. Just a little bit more, really.
Fuck does Kuno care?
You wouldn't happen to know anything about any missing locusts?
No, Kuno doesn't give a fuck about books.
So he knows locusts are bugs.
Well, that's good to know.
Oh my god!
This one seems to say.
That shit is lame.
Shut up, see.
Now they're gonna take you to lame prison.
Ah.
She sounds like she's about to cry, out of disappointment at Kuno's newfound lameness.
What's this about?
Deny everything, Kuno. You need to lawyer up.
Kuno's not gonna say anything without his lawyer present.
There's definitely something going on here. Remember his pig's head shack? You should check it out.
Okay.
Kuno doesn't...
Well, let's go check it out real quick. Right here, right now. See if you got the locust in here, Kuno. Get you dead the fucking rights. It's crawling with locusts in here.
All around you, the hisses and chirps of locusts fill the musky air.
Jesus.
The earthen floor of the shack has been shaped into mounds of mud, dotted with little holes for windows. Like skyscrapers, spires of dirt and sand rising. Accommodations for their insectoid inhabitants.
Well, detective, it appears you've solved the case.
The lieutenant looks around, writes something in his notebook, and turns to you.
Of the locusts. For the missing locust case, which is a sub-case of the imaginary insect case. So at least that's going well.
Stop being so sarcastic, Kim.
Oh, I'm not being sarcastic at all. We are making real progress here.
Come on, Kim. It's for my XP. You don't understand.
When someone says they're not being sarcastic, it's usually a good sign that they're being very sarcastic.
We should talk to Kuno about this. Get him to stop.
I'll let you handle the Kuno side of things. You are doing just fine.
We're right here, Kim. At least we don't have to go all the way over to another island, man. Alright, Kuno.
Fuck does Kuno care?
I know you took the locust from the traps the cryptozoologist set up.
Yeah. Kuno took the books.
He says,
so what?
engaged with sullen defiance. You say you don't give a fuck about bugs, and then you go and build a whole bug town.
It's not Bugtown. It's the city of locusts.
He says, announcing
Locusts
every
aren't
syllable.
just bug shit. They come out of the sky like a fucking shadow. Shit descends.
You like locusts, Kuno.
Stop!
She rails from behind the fence, then buries her face in her hands.
You stop. It's like they're fucking night. Locust City, Night City, City of Rage.
Night City from Cyberpunk 2077.
There's a tug of war over the name of his fantastical city. It's almost too big for his imagination. The girl forces herself to watch again, the corners of her eyes twitching from discomfort.
What are you, some kind of artist now?
Maybe I am.
He says, looking you straight in the eye.
Did he just say I?
Oh.
Kuno usually calls Kuno, Kuno.
Hold on, did I hear you right? You said I.
Kuno made Kuno. Kuno says whatever the fuck he wants. There are no rules here, pig.
He steps closer.
I fucking say I when I wanna, and Kuno when I wanna. Kuno's free. Kuno's free to fucking die, bitch.
This is what he sometimes does when things get tense.
That's great, Kuno. It's cool to make art.
Oh my god, Kuno! He's gonna make you totally lame in, like, 3 seconds! Don't let him, Kuno!
Yo, fuck you, see? Kuno can be what Kuno wants to be. Kuno's his own man. Kuno's free.
He tears out the buttons of his shirt, trying to whip them open. They don't give way.
Kuno made himself into Kuno. Kuno can make himself into anything. Kuno can make himself into a pig if he wants. Kuno can make himself into a... Kuno doesn't give a shit.
You are raging against the world, Kuno, aren't you?
Don't make yourself into a pig, Kuno! You'll have to take me away!
A reading silence fills the yard.
In it, you hear snow melting, dripping from the eaves. Someone closing a window. So that's what this is about.
Okay. That depends on the choices you make, young girl.
Without a word, she disappears entirely behind the fence. For once, the boy is lost for words. He turns completely red now, with splotches of white beginning to appear across his face.
Oh boy.
Use this momentary confusion to take control of the situation. You got him. Now convince him to leave the cryptozoologist's traps alone.
Okay. I need you to stop taking locusts from the traps. The cryptozoologists are trying to find something very important. Those locusts are baked. Oh, wait. You know what? I'll take control, yeah.
I don't give a shit. I don't need the locusts anyway. Shit is all lame now.
He turns towards the
was
fence.
right.
The girl's face appears again, above the fence, just long enough to make eye contact with Kuno.
What's going to happen to the locusts? Not towards the shack.
Kuno's gonna let the fucking locusts die.
I have to ask, what does the city of locusts mean?
It don't mean anything. It's shit. Kuno just likes to focus. Kuno likes to concentrate on shit. Build shit when he's zipping hard. Fuck.
He turns his face up to the heavens.
Pig, you really
Says
shouldn't have
finally
fucked
raising
with
gaze
Kuno
to
City.
meteors.
Now it's all fucking lame.
Okay, now that's settled, I better be off.
The fuck are they trying to catch anyway?
Yes,
with the
before
traps?
you. The insulindian plasmid. He mutters to himself.
He recognizes the name.
Wait, you know what the insulin plasmid is?
Bitches think Kuno doesn't know shit.
He says
The
angry.
fuck out of here. Kuno's tired of this shit.
There's silence between the two children. They're not saying anything to each other, nor looking in each other's direction.
What is with you two children?
I'll die before I squeal, pig.
Child, converse with me.
Murder was the case they gave me.
She has almost vanished behind the fence. Only the top of her hat remains. Interesting, very interesting. Well, let's go tell morale of this, and we can finally be off. And grab Evrart's, or my gun, really. So, let me inform them.
Hello, officer. I think I almost have it.
I had a chat
A
with this
new
kid,
trap
Kuno.
design, that
Promised
is.
to stop seeing him in the
So
locust.
it was just a child.
He purses his lips, crestfallen.
Thank you for telling us, sweetie.
She turns her smile
This
gently
is
up
good
her
news,
husband.
right? It means we can try again.
She acts chipper, but something's changed in her tone. A hidden worry.
That will kill himself trying to find this.
Something is secretly gnawing at her confidence. It's not this Kuno kid, or the missing locusts. It's something else.
Yeah, you're right. We just need to restock the empty trap. Then we'll need to inspect the traps one more time. And then maybe we can.
The aging cryptozoologist breaks into a hideous coughing fit.
Darling, I
She looks in
told you to
Tinder's
take
concern.
it easy. You're getting sick. Maybe it's time to go home.
You're right, you're right.
He breathes carefully.
We can
about to
come
stop
back
coughing
next
again.
season when it's warmer.
There won't be a next season. Not for this. Find the Phasmid or admit defeat, people.
I want to help him. I want to help him. Damn it. Maybe I can still restock the trap for you.
You can?
Yeah, your team makes it sure.
Better than having these people get pneumonia on the coast. But after this...
He wants to see this tale through as much as you. Otherwise, he'd have stopped this already. But he cannot let it drag out after this.
Just this one last thing, Kim.
Really?
Thing.
It's too much, officer.
He starts coughing again. It's an old couple, Kim. Something.
What Morel means is we're grateful for your help.
She nods her husband.
Here's a fresh scratch of locust. I should slide right down the funnel. And thank you again. We will definitely mention you, should this lead to a discovery. I'm not talking co-discovery, of course, but...
Wow. Co-discovery? You'd be famous. You'd show them all. This does tingle the pleasure center. This would show them all. We need to get you on that list of discoverers. No question about that.
Of course, I'll get going. Just one last thing. One last thing, Kim. I want to help out this old couple. I really do. I want to help them out. Okay, so we got the apartment. Okay. Let's finally get over to fucking Evrart. All right, we have much to do. We have to go to the bookstore, get the cube, then we can head on over to the other fucking island. I guess I'll talk to Tommy, see if he has anything new from us.
Oh, look. It's the cop who turned me into a bad person.
I'm sorry, Tommy. I still am. That's still one of the most hardest choices I've ever had to make. Alright, Evrart, you fat fuck. I got you the things. Now give me my goddamn gun. It's not a fishing rod, is it? It's...
Mr. Dubois, every worker, member of the board.
Smiles
How can I help you today?
It's done. I mailed the signatures you asked me to mail.
The Golden Boy returns once more. Wonderful. Simply wonderful, Harry.
He claps his hand together like a child who's just been offered a cotton
I
candy.
already knew this.
Of course, yes.
My friend, the mailman, confirms the letter is on its way. You've done a great thing today. You've given the children of Martinez a bright future. And you've proven yourself someone I can trust. Someone I can really do business with.
Of course. Now give me my fucking gun, Evrart. Son of a bitch. What is something I can do? Maybe I can forget this, so I can have more shivers. Honestly. But it's all running caps to free. What it? +2 to fizz bait. But here's the biggest problem with this thought. It's -1 shivers, but it got my warning cap to free. And I'm pretty sure I only had 2 in that. What should I do with this? What the hell should I really do with this? Maybe I should forget this. Because it's -1 shivers. I need every bit of it. Okay, I'll forget this. This is going to be the first one. Forget it. Yep. Now, can I put... at least I can put another thing in here as well. So I guess I'll put in the fair weather thing. Just over here. Good. Let me check my thoughts. Okay, now it's 5. There we go. Good. Alright, I did have to get rid of, +3, but you know what? I have 5 shivers now, which I think that's going to really, boost me up. Okay. Alright. Now I got sorted out.
You're in my inner circle. You too, Mr. Kitsuragi.
You not see
We can
Lieutenant
talk
smiling
about
broadly.
anything. The strike, the murder, your lost gun. Nothing is off the table.
Really?
Hear that? You did it the honest way. You got the real signatures, and now he's happy. Well done. I don't know. Your dirty forgery fingers aren't sure if playing this one straight was the right thing to do. We would have preferred trickery, but the choice was yours, sire. As always. You are the liege, and you're in.
What was the fine print in the document I mailed? What was the catch?
There was no fine print, Harry.
He leans forward.
But I do hope all that construction noise and limited street access encourages some people to move. After a year of that ruckus, who wouldn't?
Of course.
Oops. Yes. The noise would do the trick. It'll be terrible.
God damn it.
And when they do, they will have a good place to go. I'm currently working on renovating the buildings near the roundabout into affordable workers' palaces.
Yes, of course.
So the village is doomed.
Lieutenant says grimly.
You were there. You saw the place. A wasteland. There's nothing left. But mark my words, officers.
He swings his fist on the table, causing some of the coffee to spill.
Reset.
He repeats.
I have big plans for Martinez, and they do not include humans living in those pig sheds on the coast. That land will be used for municipal buildings and commerce.
What do you mean?
Harry, imagine a youth center supermarket church complex.
Jesus.
Employing hundreds, no, thousands of people. The coast will be lit up with enterprise and life. All those ruins out there turned into low-income housing. Harry, enough is enough. We're taking this district back. The war was 50 years ago, for God's sake. It's time to move on.
Youth supermarket church complex. Do you really expect me to believe that?
Yes, I do. I got the center, I got room for a retail complex, and in 4 years, I'll get the church too. The wheels are already turning, Harry. The wheels of progress. This post-war limbo, I won't stand for it. There are kids practically playing with their own feces out there. It cannot go on.
Evrart is such an interesting character because I can't tell his fucking motives. He plays dirty, but at the same time, some of his actions suggest that he does care about his workers. That's why they call it a union. So, you know, it's interesting.
There is true indignation in his voice when he speaks about the state of things, and even a touch of pain. The pain is true. He's seen kids do worse than that.
Because he did help out the old buddy out there as well, both him and his brother, and he gave that guard station to that one veteran as well. So, like, it's interesting. Evrart is an interesting character. He's not evil. Like, hell, I wouldn't even call him evil in any sort of way. He just plays dirty. You know, he's a dirty guy. He's a mobster. But, like, he plays it in such a way that it's like, I can't say he's evil, like, in any sense of the word. He just plays dirty, is the best way to put it, like a politician.
And then there will be a giant statue of him, towering above it all.
Wait, but will you erect a statue to yourself?
I'm not a symbolist, Harry. I'm a realist. My statue will be Martinez rebuilt. 5-story building complexes, kids off speed, and landowners in a zone hating me. That will be my statue. And yours. We're doing this together.
You would look nice as a statue.
I knew you were up to something.
Damn right I'm up to something, Harry.
The fist lands on
I'm
table
gonna make
again.
the working man as rich as Joyce Messier. That's my job. Just like yours is to keep the peace.
A true flash of anger in him, as he thinks of her.
Did you order the hanged man killed?
Order it? You know my men didn't kill him. They told you.
Yeah.
It was a happy accident. You know how it is. No one takes the initiative. If I wanted him dead, I would have had to do it myself. And I'm too fat for that.
What do you gain from him being dead?
Why, a war, of course.
And what do you have to gain from a war?
Victory, Mr. Kitsuragi. I have victory to gain. We are going to start a war with the Wild Pines Group. and win before they even realize there is a war.
They're trained military people. Aren't you afraid for your men?
Harry, we outnumber them 1,500 to 1, and that's just Martinez. With all the unions in Revachol, and with public opinion on our side, we can hold off 2 men, or 15 men, or even 50 men.
Well, I mean, that's like regular workers against fucking special ops, Evrart.
The more they send, the worse it's going to look for them. They made a huge mistake hiring those guys. No one likes foreign mercenaries. The leftists hate them, the fascists hate them, even the moralists think they're in bad taste.
How is this connected to the strike?
Harry, there is no strike, only war. Class war. Or, in business terms, a dawn raid. Or wait.
He pauses to whip
Is
his
that
chin.
when you still pay them something? Because we won't do that. We're not going to give nothing. We're going to take Terminal B away from them. The roads, the gates, the containers, that big crane, even the damn coffee maker. We're going to take all of it for the people, and fuck Wild Pines.
Of course.
The word fuck rings like a gunshot from his mouth. He doesn't swear often.
Yeah, he's serious about this.
So that's why you haven't let Joyce in?
Yes. It's also why I let that midget Gaumont go. He's too nice. I can't put him through this. Plus, he knows how to get in here. That woman can't tell her tits from her arsehole. She has no chance.
What?
Tits from her arsehole. It's a local saying.
I haven't heard of it.
Actually, no, it's not.
Why you tell me your plans?
Because we're friends, Harry. Besides, it doesn't matter now. You can go tell her if you want. It won't change the course of events. We have a significant head start.
You do realize with this war, there's going to be a lot of people dead, Evrart, and you are in a way, man of the people. You do dirty shit in order to better Martinez.
It's already happening.
He looks at the swordfish clock and nods. Who killed the hanged man?
No idea. Could have been his own mother for all I know. If you ever find the guy, give him a big fat kiss from Evrart Clare. Couldn't have done it without him.
So this really is just a motivation for war. It was just a happy accident, really, for Evrart. Just the trigger for it.
He really doesn't know. A guy, huh?
How do you know it's a guy?
I don't. I told you it could have been his own mother. I'm pretty sure it wasn't anyone from the Union. Maybe it was the mob. Or maybe he killed himself because he was a closet socialist. Truth is, I simply don't know.
Could have killed himself.
He really doesn't.
Wow. How many of you guys are there in the Union?
2,372.
You probably
Plus
took a
yours
whip.
truly, of course.
2,000.
2,373 is a sizable contingent for a labor organization in Revachol.
That's a lot.
And they're all well motivated. At least the ones you've seen.
It's a war between, like, people that are fervent in their ideals and belief versus cold-hearted mercenary conglomerates. So which one strikes out? If you've seen Dune, part 1 and part 2, you know how that tends to go with faith or fervor. If you present an idea and people really attach themselves to it, they can do many, many things. How are you going to fund your new independent harbor?
Oh, you mean what sort of goods are going to be flowing through? How am I going to replace all the contacts we'll lose once the poo-poo hits the fan? The clients will ditch us. Harry, we've thought of everything.
Clients would take a well-known multinational conglomerate over a local mobster any day.
You can't possibly hope to continue like you have. Clients will leave en masse.
Sure, some will go, but mark my words. The company will be unpleasantly surprised to see how many of them stay loyal to Martinez, and to the new competitive contracts we can offer. With renewed zeal sparked by communal ownership, the men will be shipping those containers double time. You'll be surprised to see how fast things go without parasites latching on. We'll have our hands free to pursue bold, exotic new revenue streams.
That's drugs.
Of course.
Drug trafficking.
Yeah.
Drug trafficking? Don't be stupid, Mr. Kitsuragi. There are perfectly legal, 100% ethical chemical factories on the Samaran Isola. You don't need to be colonialist about it. All they do is produce components to keep the pharmaceutical industry running. That's people's health we're talking about. Old grannies, little babes, people with disabilities.
That's just the top of the iceberg, though, isn't it?
The company thinks transporting these chemicals in bulk looks bad.
He makes air
has
quotes.
bad optics. May be illegal in some countries. The Debarders Union, however, we're all about the large volume column. We're gonna transport the living daylights out of those materials, Harry.
He slams his
So
fist on
your
desk
sick
once
kid
more.
can get his Benefed, and your wacky uncle doesn't have to come off risperidone.
Benefed is a children's cold medicine, usually apricot flavored. And risperidone is used to treat severe psychosis.
Yeah, so you want nice and clean drugs, eh? Call yourself a good old-fashioned Teddy Roosevelt, huh, Evrart?
And the kids on the street can get speed and pyrrolidon.
I'm an old-fashioned guy, Mr. Kitsuragi. I sometimes grab a beer with the boys, but I have no idea about the things you just mentioned.
He smiles.
But if I were to supply ingredients for some sort of rainbow party, I would make sure the Union took a fantastic share.
Of course.
And I'd keep that stuff far away from Martinez.
But everywhere else in Weathershall.
He's basically admitting to it.
Is Ruby helping you secure this fantastic share?
Harry, if I was supplying raw materials to drug manufacturers, I would need an army of rubies.
Understood.
Lieutenant, not slowly. I have to admit, it's a well put together plan and far removed from you.
It's also far
Smiles
removed from my
slyly.
men and the people of Martinez who've put their trust in me.
He does care about Martinez. He's willing to do quite literally anything, even sell drugs on the street to fund it.
Anyway, let's not focus on the sensationalism of the drug trade. This hypothetical drug trade is all anyone ever seems to be interested in. It would only be a small part of the harbor's turnover, just like the harbor is, but a small part of Martinez.
I mean, he's not going to give me an answer. Go on.
Let's look at the big picture. Martinez as a whole. There are little girls out there with dreams of making music. Young mothers who want to start businesses. Models who want to walk catwalks and steel welders who want to weld steel. I'm going to unite them all into one economic body. We're going to incorporate this place to Kingdom Come. Everyone's going to be in on the wealth, and everyone's going to pull their weight.
I mean, it's very ambitious. I love what you're doing for the working man. I'll give him that.
Thank you, Harry. Thank you.
Bows
You have
courage,
no
chair.
idea how much it means to me, because in many ways, you are that working man. You have already done so much work.
The thing is, Evrart believes what he's doing is right. That's the thing. He truly is in it. And it's like, it's very interesting because I can't say it's evil. It is not evil. It's not good. Well, I mean, it just depends on your point of view. In my own personal, I guess, political opinion, there should be opportunities for people. There should be. Martinez is in a state of wreck. That is true. And Everart's just doing it the hard way. I mean, the easy way. By doing shady shit. You know, he's just taking the shortcuts to it. But I guess he's probably tried everything else. Now this is where he's gone to. Can I ask you about specific union members?
We're way past specific union members now. This is the big time.
His eyes are
We're
shining.
talking about the future of Revachol here, Harry. You can bother Leonard with that.
He points to the
He
door.
loves to run his mouth on such matters. But
Mhm.
I'm in big time mode, Harry.
Can I get my gun now?
Harry, I've got to be honest with you.
Turn solemn.
Your gun was found 2 days ago. Withholding this information weighed heavily on me, but it had to be done.
Fine. Where is it?
An old woman has it, and Let me tell you, Harry. Word on the street is she's a character, so watch out.
Old woman.
This must be the woman who bought the gun from Roy.
Yeah.
The one he described as terrifying.
So the gun's still with the woman who bought it from Roy.
Yes, the same one. I see you've done your research. The pawn shop made the gun easy to track.
He smiles and shakes
Crazy
his one
stuff, Harry. Selling your gun like that? Wild. Anyway.
Union Boy's gonna help you fix it. He winks at you.
Yeah.
Don't worry, Harry.
The neighbors of this old woman contacted my men because they trust me and the Debarders Union. Apparently, she was waving it around at the entrance to her building.
Uh-huh.
Waving the gun around doesn't sound good. None of this does.
She was waving it around at people?
As I said, she's a character. I didn't have time for details.
Those smiles.
It sounds like she's unstable, but don't worry. No one got hurt.
Who is this old woman?
Unfortunately, I don't know anymore. You're gonna have to go in blind, Harry. But she's an old lady. How dangerous can she possibly be? Oh, and she calls herself the Pigs.
The Pigs.
There it is again. The Pigs. Like Roy said, not good at all.
Son of a bitch.
I, for one, find it refreshing. Finally, someone calls themselves a pig.
Smile flickers in the corner of his mouth.
It actually sounds extremely bad, but let's not give him the satisfaction.
Can you set up a meeting?
I already have. Tonight,
He lives
starting
in
10
Tex.
o'clock, near the old fish market on the coast. The one on the
Okay.
boardwalk, a little past the fishing village. Be careful, Harry. I would never set you up for anything dangerous, but you did ask for this. Now,
You crops the
back to
sand.
the fun stuff.
Of course.
She will be there from 2200 hours till 0200 hours.
Okay, tonight. Gotcha.
More fun stuff.
He looks at
Seems
you.
like we already have fun stuff to do.
Yeah, indeed, Kim. Indeed we do. That's it for now.
Great, Harry, great. I think we have truly built a bridge between Martinez and Jamrock today. We have united the RCM and the Debarders Union.
So with their sadness in his tone.
This
He points to
has
you
been
himself.
so great. I'm sorry we don't have more fun things to do together, but if you ever feel like bouncing something off me, my door is always open.
A few more questions about the
I'm
harbor.
always happy to...
Nothing.
Very nice, Harry.
Well, that's it. Meeting set up, huh? At night, so I can finally get my fucking gun back. Let's see. Let's talk to your old boy over here. See if he has
Oh,
anything.
hey, mister. No
Yeah.
trouble at all, mister. No trouble at all. It's like that old saying goes, wisdom withers if not shared. And old Leo is always up for sharing.
Well, you seem to know everyone around here. I want to ask about someone.
Mr. Evrart doesn't really want me to talk to people about union guys.
You think so, no?
But who did you want to talk about?
Tell me about this Edgar guy you keep mentioning.
Mr. Edgar is Mr. Evrart's brother. He looks a bit younger, he does. But a very smart fellow. Very smart fellow indeed. He's away on some union business. Not even in Revershaw, they say.
Let me stop you there, Rio. I had another question.
Huh? Sure, mister.
Seems pissed.
What is it?
Tell me about Titus.
Oh, Titus is a longshoreman through and through. He was born on a boat, they say.
Little man
His
loves a
veins are
pension
probably filled with salt water, I tell you. Nice, friendly sort old Titus is.
Guess go with Edgar again.
Mr. Edgar is
Don't
all
interrupt.
kinds of places he visits. Him and his brother both do when they're on a vacation. Right now, it's Mr. Evrart's turn to look after the union. But last year he spent a whole winter in South Afra. Left with the first autumn rains and didn't come back before the trees were green again.
Little guy chuckles again.
South Safra. A lot of bulk chemical manufacturing going on there.
Ah.
A lot of cargo shipments being made too.
Setups.
The trade must have been lucrative for the trip to be so long.
Tell me about Manana.
He's a union man through and through. Good guy.
You fall silent,
He's
hesitating.
very calm, laid back, doesn't do much, talks to Evrart sometimes. Honestly, I don't know what he does for us, but it must be important because everybody likes him. Yes, they do. I think that's what he does. He makes everyone feel a little better.
Oil for the wheels. Much needed in stressful times like these.
Measurehead?
Whoa, he's really something.
Little man starts laughing.
He doesn't talk much to me usually, but when he does, I don't really understand most of what he's saying. Actually, I don't think he would like me running my mouth about him like that. Once he said he's a dragon to this mob fellow who came picking a fight with some union men. I think he really believes Jean-Luc was a dragon because he ran right off. Another time he almost killed another guy, but I shouldn't talk about that.
Tell me about Evrart.
I'd best not. I mean, I could, but I don't think Mr. Evrart would like it very much. You better ask him yourself, mister.
If anything, the ever-present smile on Leo's face gets even warmer. Tell me about Wen.
The night guard. Ooh, he's a peculiar fellow.
Leo looks at the card
He's the
book in the
strong,
wall.
silent type, you could say. We talk all the time, but I don't really know much about him. He plays petanque with my old human studies teacher, Mr. Martin, down at the plaza. I think he's the only fellow who actually knows old Renee. They lived on the same street their entire lives. Even dated the same girl on and off for as long as I can remember.
Yeah.
Strange fellows. Mr. Martin was always real nice to me in school. I remember once.
Hold up, Gaston was your human studies teacher?
Mr. Martin, yes.
Real
Don't really
nice.
remember much about him. I was just a boy back then.
Damn.
Mr. Martin, Gaston also taught history and human studies to the Clear brothers.
Let's talk about something else.
Sure, mister.
Okay. That's enough of that. Alright. So, take on response. Hey, we completely cleared Tuesday's, things. So that's good. Where shot came from. Start sooner. Okay. Now these are the things. So I have to go at 22. So I'm bringing Kim with me on that. Because I'm not going alone like last time. Last time was more of a time-sensitive thing. So, like, wait, I wonder.
You're back before the cargo container.
Damn it.
Its draw has not lessened since you were last here. If anything, it's...
If only I could persuade it to open. If only I could persuade the cargo door to finally open to moi. Over to the bookstore. Go on over to the bookstore. Alright.
Hello again, esteemed officer, and welcome to Crime, Romance, and Biographies of Famous People.
I was told that there's a large fridge in the building cellar. Can you lead me there?
A fridge?
She faces
No, I
Bennett.
don't know anything about a fridge. Aren't you interested in books?
She nods at the bookshelves.
For whatever reason, she's lying to you about the fridge.
Okay.
Seems like you have to find your own way to the cellar.
Well, we're going to there, and that's the end of that, damn it.
The curtains, tattered with age and covered in dust, hang before you, as if taunting you.
Pull open the curtains.
Just as you're about to pull apart the curtains, the petrified voice of the shop owner cries out once more.
Ooh.
Sir, don't touch that. I told you it's off limits for the customers.
Her hand is closed around her pendant, her fingers nervously playing with the talisman.
Parapsychologically speaking, we're done if you decide to open them. I won't be held responsible for the consequences. It's too dangerous.
Yeah, we've already warned from the programmer that she's very, spiritual is the way to put it, I guess.
She looks away, mumbling. Why is everyone always messing with the curtains? Why can't they just buy books like normal people?
I've heard there's a fridge there that I need.
Everybody suddenly needs something from there.
She waves her hands
Leave the
angrily.
curtains be. It's what it wants.
Okay, so what's in there has a will, and it wants you to enter? This is bad.
This is about the curse. That's why you're afraid.
No, it's just a storeroom for the employees. I told you. Now please
She's almost
step away
begging you.
from the curtains.
Man, this is different. I'm a police officer. I need to get in there.
Why? It's not like anyone was killed there.
What? She stops abruptly as her hand flies over her mouth, baffled by her own bluntness.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to be so impolite. Just please don't go there. I can't allow that. You'll only make things worse and unleash the powers.
Alright, I'll think about it for a while.
Thank you.
Shopkeeper, what's on
Let's
last night?
just talk about this first, all right? There's no reason for you to venture into the unknown.
I'll convince her before I go into it.
Talking is always good. Go see what she has to say. Lies. Rip them open, we say.
Yes.
There is something mysterious about the curtains. Be careful.
Yes.
The
Whatever you
curtains,
say.
tattered with age and covered in dust, hang before you, as if taunting you.
Ignore the curtains. I'll persuade her to let me go in there. I don't want to just go in there.
Hello again, esteemed officer, and welcome to crime, romance, and biographies of famous people.
Why are you all so uptight about those curtains? I just want to know what's on the other side.
I already told you, it's just a storage room for employees. I don't understand why it's so important to you. Just let it go, officer. Go buy some goddamn books. You're supposed to be drawn to the books.
She recites it like it's a poem, or like she's playing a role she's grown tired of.
Why are you still talking about books? Are you trying to put a spell on me?
A spell? As if.
She
This
snorts.
place doesn't need any spells or hoodoo mumbo jumbo. This place has wonderful energy.
She wavers under your gaze, mouth pressed into a tight-lipped smile. Then something breaks.
Okay, fine. It's just because this place is cursed, just like everyone said. They don't call it the doomed commercial area for nothing. Are you happy now, officer? Happy that you've ruined everything?
She closes her eyes and stares, mumbling something to her pendant.
Host of hosts, she prays. Guard me and my honest business venture from the curse that lurks behind the curtains.
Huh.
Take it easy. You've broken her resistance. Pushing her further will gain nothing.
Okay. How does this curse manifest itself? I mean,
The curse is so much worse than you could imagine. It's a disease, eating at the very foundation.
shiver runs through the woman as she looks around the dimly lit store.
It's the curse of financial distress,
Her voice
of ruin
drops to a whisper.
and bankruptcy.
She peers at the curtains again.
Didn't that curtain just move?
Annette mentioned that the previous tenants have experienced some financial troubles.
It's not just that, officer. We're dealing with something supernatural here. It's the cacodemons, feeding off bad business practices and disappointing income statements.
Of course, it's the cacodemons, indeed.
There's something wrong with this building, I can tell you. Ever since I arrived, I've sensed an eerie, lingering presence, as if I was unwanted here.
Sounds familiar.
Strange. I feel unwanted too. What does it mean?
Truly so?
Her eyes
Perhaps
narrow.
the
She
dark
tries to get
energies
rid
are
of your energy.
leeching off you. You shouldn't stay in the store too long. It may be dangerous.
Have you sought help from anyone?
Yes, I've contacted numerous parapsychologists, and even a pair of Simonese mediators. They provided me with the wards.
She nods at a strange cage-white trinket on the curtains.
The wards help to keep the doom at bay and protect us against the darkness that lies further in the building. Even though now I fear it's not enough.
Is your pendant part of the wards as well?
Oh, this?
She holds a pendant above.
No,
Zork's
it's a
heart
special
glistens in the
Himian
lights.
amulet, blessed by desert pygmy shamans, with a spell of compulsion. It's to compel people to buy books.
Yeah, she's a very superstitious person. That's the right word.
There are numerous spells cast throughout the store. I had the books anointed with a different inducement spell, for example. It's guaranteed to boost sales 15%.
Of course.
Desert pygmy shamans. That sounds like a rather questionable way to describe a group of people. Doesn't seem like the spell is working.
Yeah.
There are no customers around except you.
There are hardly any customers in the store. Do you think it's really working?
Sir, I am well educated in the commercial and esoteric arts. I know what to do and what to avoid.
She noses her spectacles. Have you ever thought about a sale? Maybe this could warrant some customers.
Discount my wares? I can see, sir, that you don't value books very highly.
But yet you have no customers.
Besides, this would only tempt the phantoms of doom. They can sense the desperation, you know.
Would you like me to take the case? I could investigate, see if the curse is real.
Most certainly not. I don't want anyone who's not familiar with the psychic arts to get involved in this mess. Stay away. Leave the spirits be, so they can return to their slumber.
My liege, you know what this case calls for? A para-detective.
Okay. Helped Annette on a quest to find the off-site copy. Very high 97. Convinced her to let you investigate the doomed commercial area.
Slither up to her, you silver-tongued fiend. Show her what world-class perfect looks like.
Ma'am, I came here to help. I've handled paranatural situations before.
Are you sure?
She looks skeptical.
Don't think I haven't seen charlatans before.
I've returned from the void, a para-detective from a long line of para-detectives.
You're no para-detective. You look nothing like one. And you're clearly a drinker. Pardon me for being so blunt, but...
You look like one.
Ah.
Hey now, hey. You need the booze to focus, alright? The lieutenant keeps his usual stony calm. He silently picks out his notebook. Go ahead then.
Yeah.
Rock her world, he thinks. I'll compose some notes.
I'll admit, I've had my share of drinks, but only because the spectral realm is parapsychologically taxing.
How do you know all this?
Here we go.
I am the Void Revenant. I have the powers to debad all the bad energies.
I should have realized. A pattern lies within the fabric. The hand of fate guides us. Our meeting couldn't have been mere chance.
Of course, pestilence.
Perhaps you truly are the one to deliver this woman from the doom.
But I am not the only one at risk. I have to think of my daughter. You are certain you can help us? Keep us safe? I can't allow any collateral damage to hit us.
Just ask my partner Kim. He'll vouch for me. The lieutenant mumbles in minor confusion. He has not been listening closely enough. You've put him on the spot.
Certainly so, ma'am. I can assure you my partner is eminent in this particular field.
Come on, we gotta back each other up, Kim. I've gone on your story, you know, I've picked up on your tales. Pick up on mine.
If you promise, good officer, then you might be our last hope. Do you swear it?
Nervously. A hand on your heart, on my honor.
Thank you, sir. There's
Timid
one more thing I haven't told you about
smile.
yet. The entity.
Entity?
Do not act surprised. You know of these things, sire.
Of course, the entity. Close your eyes. For I have sensed its presence.
You have?
She
The
gasped.
entity takes the form of a woman. A witch, probably. I've suspected that she must be connected to the curse ever since I first saw her. Did you know that she lives inside the chimney?
Chimneys aren't big enough for that.
No. This chimney is part of the building's central furnace, and it's enormous. She has barricaded herself behind some metal security curtains. God knows what she's doing there. Some unnatural magic, I assume.
She shivers.
You should go find the entity and ask what happened to all the companies in the building. What is the source of this curse? Here's the key to the warded door behind the curtains. Take it.
Thank you, ma'am.
Oh, and please do return to me after you've looked round. I'm quite anxious to know what she has to say about the curse. What you discover in there.
Of course.
Unbelievable darkness and ruin. What you discover? Probably just some office space. Don't be scared.
Of course. Farewell for now. I mean, the programmer didn't mention anyone else here, so...
You see a set of tattered curtains blocking the
Pour
way to
the
another room.
curtains open.
A strange cage. You
Here
see
we go.
a dimly lit room full of dusty furniture and trash. A doorway stands in the back, covered in dozens of scary little Sebanese wards. Your shadow looming over it like an omen.
Small terrified Ode escapes from presence as she tries her best to look away, round face buried in her hands. Now in we go, shall we? Hairdryer. Ghostly silhouettes of hair dryers. Vaguely androgynous portrait of a man.
A heavy door with a missing handle stands before you, covered in dozens, if not hundreds, of Seminese trinkets and charms. It appears to be locked.
Knock on the door. See
Only
anything?
an echo. No one is there.
Alright.
A hollowed out, dark echo.
Unlock the door with the key.
After exerting some force, you manage to turn the key. It's eerily silent. The door slides slightly open, letting a draft of cold air into the room.
Gotcha.
You feel the tiny hairs on the back of your neck rise up, as if someone's standing right behind you. An uneasy knot forms in the pit of your stomach.
Stretch to the back of your neck. What is this feeling?
Outside, the wind howls in from across the bay. The building at Rue de Saint-Ghislain stands like a matchbox on its side, with men inside, like little wooden sticks, ready to catch fire.
Ooh.
A panicking woman squeezes the pendant around her neck until it leaves a mark inside her palm. A man, a few meters away, stands frozen with a key in his hand. Somewhere inside, a spider is spinning its web.
Alright. Open the door and enter. Just nerves, that's it. See? Office space.
What is this place?
Downstairs at the dusty training equipment. Yeah. It's an adventure. Looks like a gym to me.
Yes, but no one's been here in ages.
Draws a strap on the dusty floor with his foot.
I doubt the electricity still works. Good thing we have a flashlight on us.
Yeah.
Don't forget to take it out of your bag before we move on.
Some specks of dust shimmer in a faint beam of daylight falling from the window.
Alright.
Other than that, the room is dark. An eerie feeling rises in your chest.
Let's just keep going. Church is where your abandoned house. Nothing mysterious here.
Sounds good.
Alright, time to take out my flashlight then. Thank God I took this with me. Here we go. Ah. Ooh. Alright. Sand is dripping from a punch bag. Interesting. Wait, smells like leather and sweat. Hey, a ball. Hey, shot football. Actually, I think this might be a little bit bigger. Poster says Cretus Fortis. The rest is worn off. Worn out wall bars. They look unsafe. Got a deadlift
A
here.
barbell lies on the floor. The color has worn off its weight plates.
I love I can still use it in this.
It's 60 kilograms. Your triceps hum at the sight of these weights. Show the world what kind of beast it's
I don't
dealing
know.
with. Lift them. There are no collars on the barbell.
Yeah.
This is a safety hazard. Why does it feel so familiar?
Is this familiar because I'm a weightlifter?
No, it's not that. It's the stale smell of rubber, the squeaky sound of sneakers, your bruised knee against the mat, and a whistle. Then the feeling is gone.
Probably gym class.
It's just a memory. A memory from another life.
Yeah.
When you were young and fit.
Look, Em, it's a trap. There are no collars on the barbell.
You're right. The weight may fall off. Better not touch it then.
Kind of a bastard would just remove the collars. Should be a felony.
It would be a violation of EPIS safety regulations if the gym was still operating, but it isn't. No one's supposed to come here anymore.
With the barbell, I'm good on that. I'm not the fittest guy. I do want a lot, but not that fit. Alright, damn, the lighting's really good. This flashlight. Hallway's blocked by old window panes and debris. Wow. This place is a bit spooky, I have to say. But just abandoned. Large demonic full of strange liquid. Hey, I got a skill point. Nice. What the hell should I put it in? That's actually a good question. I already got a lot in these. Maybe Inland Empire? You know what? Let's put it into Composure. I feel like Composure's good. So, like, let's put that. in there. Or maybe... Do we have anything else we could... We could unlock another thing. We could get... This could be interesting. Or it could be nothing. You know what? I'll put something. I'll put one into composure. And... Maybe empathy, though? Okay, I'll put one into empathy. Excellent. There we go. Wild animals stare at you in the dark. Stuffed and mounted. Creepy. Airship rotors covered in spider webs. Remind you of blades. Ooh. This place, naked rank and torso. Strange yellow color. This place is a bit spooky. But just abandoned, that's all. Blue velvet. Soft as a touch. Moth bin. More money. Just old, abandoned stores. Here. What the hell are these? Oh hey, radio box. Here we go.
A dusty radio computer sleeps on its wired frame. Forgotten and unused. Its keyboard has a rectangular on-off button. A piece of paper still hangs from the printer.
Another radio computer.
Says Lieutenant. Watching
Just sitting here
mission.
without anyone inside.
What he means is that these things cost money. Why would anyone just leave it behind? This is the Ream Civic radio computer, model RC5120, equipped with a Feld mainframe and a Ream-compatible printer.
Do you think I should turn it on?
It's your call. You're in charge of this expedition, officer.
Turn on the machine.
The machine lights up like some prehistoric animal stirring from its slumber, revealing fluorescent play and print keys on the keyboard. The hatch on the machine's central compartment is wide open.
Look inside the compartment.
It's empty like a beehive without its brood. Some cables have been left dangling, disconnected.
This is where the memory should go.
10 notes. Observing machine. Press play.
Nothing happens.
Okay.
Something's missing. There's no tape in the player.
Press print.
Nothing happens.
Okay. Makes sense. We got maps of shit.
This old fireplace is covered in lines drawn in blue and red marker. The mesh spreading over the stone like blood vessels on alabaster skin. It looks ghostly and strangely ancient. The whole thing resembles Cadran mosaic tiles. Very pedantic.
Hold on, how do I know what Cadran mosaic tiles are supposed to look like?
History classes, students with their textbooks open, studying the roots of our civilization. Those aquarelle blue tiles looked beautiful in the sun.
What am I looking at?
Radio frequencies, it seems. UKV 123.6, UKV 123.7, UKV 123.9. Some written notes, too. Sparse and cryptic.
Radio frequencies for what?
Unclear. It looks like a cardiovascular system split into veins and capillaries. Very advanced.
So we're dealing with something medical here?
You think so? The web is comprised of radio stations, all lead back to one red heart, titled the Game Master Frequency. A note says, this one can listen in on any station it wants. Looks like a surveillance program.
Just like the one Ruby was using.
They must have had massive airwidth. These things don't come cheap.
If it's a game, wait, who's the game master?
Someone very important. The leader of a massive on-air game built by these people. A conductor for the hundreds of story threads that pass through the Game Master's frequency.
If it's a game, then who's playing?
Whoever decides to call in to a call-in station, it looks like. A list of names under the stations suggests people across 6 Isolas would be playing. Muindi, Insulinda, Kotla, Grad, Samara, and even Ilmara. All of this is gone, left unrealized.
So the game they were programming.
There's no way a little basement studio working here could pull anything like this off.
My God. It's as if the less money they had, the more ambitious their project became.
Cost of airwidth alone must have been huge.
Exactly.
Balance
This
of the
schedule,
counter check part.
I know doom when I see it.
Stained
The
fingers.
company was running out of funding.
What else? Squint at the lines.
Nothing. It's just lines on marble. An echo from times long gone. No one has used the fireplace in ages.
Running out of money, yet their project came bigger and bigger. It's a lot of indie studios and hell, a lot of games even. I mean, hell, we play some of those games here. I mean, hell, those are the types of games I do play on this channel. Because it's the most interesting games, really. I mean, fucking take Xenogears, for example. That's like a half-finished game, which was still already ambitious as hell. So, you know, it's joy is something. Let's see, what's this?
Your flashlight slides over an old green chalkboard covered in scribbles, sketches, and schemes like some ancient cave mural. Some of the writing has faded with age, but you can still make out sections here and there. Photos and drawings have been pinned to the board.
Inspect the drawings.
These lithe, pointy-eared creatures appear to be different types of welkins. You make out autumnal candle welkins, casting wax-based magic. Translucent welkins, with organs shining under their skin, and even ether welkins, hailing from the vast emptiness of sidereal space. Who are all those creatures? Fantasies of a tortured, feverish mind? You should adopt one of those welkins as your persona. No longer a mere man, but a welkin.
And good old-fashioned elf.
One of the welkins, towering among the rest, appears to be different, however.
Examine the welkin. This is important.
It's Vara Hamira, a high welkin, his face white and scarred like cracked marble. This is clearly a welkin supremacist. The note says, all non-welkin races will be purged. The Haldor, the Twarg, the humans, and even headless men, all of them, purged. Imagine a world filled only with welkin, green welkin, dread welkin, and the high welkin to rule them all.
Of course.
An inordinate amount of
Here to
time
go,
has
but
gone
come
into
into-
drawing these little welkin creatures.
Who are these creatures? Who drew them? Are they real? I have so many questions.
This looks like concept art for a project. It's not really real.
Why would anyone spend so much time on this?
Some people really like building a world, I think, even if it's just for a game.
I mean, world building is an important part, at least in my opinion. World building is... I love fucking world building. Ah, this has been educational. Let's move on from the welcomes.
Just look at those details. So much effort.
And for what? All gone.
It really is like we're inspecting a canceled game. Which is sad. Because I enjoy canceled games and just the possibilities of them never coming out, you know. And it does make me kind of sad as well because people put their heart and soul into these projects and they just don't go anywhere, really. That's why I always want to finish projects I started because I don't have regret of like not finishing them, you know. Inspect the photos.
The photo collage depicts barren, icy landscapes wrapped in perpetual night. You see permafrost and glacial landforms, dead trees grown in under the snow.
Some photo references.
Entire oceans have been frozen from shore to shore. There are pictures of settlements on dried up riverbeds, abandoned in a storm. Animal corpses in the dark, carcasses and bones. You see primitive oil rigs built into glaciers, boreal dvorg, yurts under the snow, great mammoth-like beasts of burden. Albeit dark and cold, this vision also feels cozy in its own way, like eggnog or morphine, a much-needed respite from our own world. A pinned postcard reads, "The heat death scenario, a desperate fight for geothermal energy engulfs the world as Wirral becomes untethered from its sun, drifting through the universe."
Inspect the schedule.
This is a monthly calendar from the year 50. Cryptic words like sprint, daily minimi, and GPI span the marker-drawn grid, the grand scheme of production and money. It looks a bit like an academic calendar, only much more brutal.
I have to say, this is. I feel like this has to come from the actual, writers, working on this game, this is an indie game. No doubt about it. It's fucking well made. It 100% is. But by every definition of the word, Disco Elysium is still an indie game. And I guess this is kind of a kind of autobiographical, really. I mean, a game studio that's working out of a old storefront and an abandoned project.
Mini-Me stands for a mini meeting. It's part of a bigger framework for managing work called RUN. Station 41 tried to implement it a few years ago, but failed.
Keep reading. What happened?
As time goes on, the numbers in the boxes grow rarer and rarer. The board becomes an empty snowfield in the final days. Only failure and regret dwell in this region.
Looks like they didn't make it.
Turner works at the frigid ice field of nothingness.
A note in the bottom left corner of the chalkboard says, "See the prod schedule filament for details."
Inspect the notes.
The handwriting is only partly legible, but you can still make out 3 slogans: Call in, Tune Out, Wirral Untethered, and Heat Death of the Universe.
The storyline, I guess.
The full text reads, "Heat Death of the Universe is the new black." Another note says, "The biggest advancement in role-playing systems since the 30s.
An RPG.
Outside, a cold wind wraps the building in its bosom. Snowflakes in the wind. An old woman passes what the locals call the doomed commercial area. She tries hard not to look at the bookstore windows. It's unwise.
Interesting. Yes, Kim?
Okay. What do you think is going on with that computer, chalkboard, and fireplace?
It's obvious. This is what remains of Suna's radio game studio, Fortress Accident.
Yes, I got that.
Tennis
What I meant
Mercenaries
was,
feet.
what were they trying to achieve with this damn game?
You know what? Good point.
What were their ambitions? Because this here looks rather advanced.
He has respect and curiosity for this failed endeavor.
You know what? That's why I like you, Kim. You love to indulge in these side hustles. Even with cryptids and this.
This is way above your tiny little policeman head.
Ah, damn. I don't know. I'm not an artist.
Okay, well, I think...
Lieutenant takes a step back, steeping his hands.
Like he's ready to lay out a fine theory, crafted together like a puzzle box.
It looks like one of those popular pen and paper role-playing games. Only these people were trying to automate it. Make it work on radio computers.
No, now that's just rather insane. You can even suggest that, Kim. A RPG on a radio computer? Like that would ever happen. What's next? People will, somehow be able to record themselves playing these things and post them to the radio computer net.
Utter
ridiculous.
Madness, he thinks, as a compliment.
How are they planning to do that?
Through call-in stations.
Not
None of
so
the players
far,
have to be physically present. Anyone in the world can participate in the game, as long as they have a two-way radio.
Quite literally like the biggest D&D campaign, you could say. 1 DM, million players connecting in, like an MMORPG. Warcraft.
Then there's the game master frequency that listens in on the smaller call-in stations. I think that was supposed to coordinate the stories, functioning as a master of ceremonies of sorts.
His fascination has swept aside other concerns for the moment. He's a little hooked. Coordinating so many games would take a whole switchboard of people, possibly divided into sub-frequencies.
Has anyone ever done this before?
Not to my knowledge. They make automated games in Graz, Messina, Königstein. Places with industry.
Not in Revachol West, among the ruins.
Of course.
But I don't think anyone has attempted to create an inter-isolary game before. We just don't have the technology.
And this was a role-playing game?
Indeed. Those Welkins are a dead giveaway.
Points to the
Role-playing people
chalkboard.
love that stuff. The world looks like a modified version of the WeWorld board game, with heat death thrown in.
Super cool. Someone should give them millions of real immediately. This game is too good to be left unfinished.
If only. What do you think happened to the company?
No idea. They stopped filling out the schedule on the chalkboard.
Wow.
Indeed, it's ambitious and untethered from reality, but...
Lieutenant tilts his head, thinking... I mean... They were insane if they thought they could do this.
Yes, especially in here.
Lieutenant looks around the derelict room. The pipes howl and a rat crosses the floor in front of your feet.
Okay, let's keep moving.
But it certainly is fascinating, isn't it, Kim? A role-playing game on this schedule. Ooh, we have much more around here. Damn, this place is fucking big. Shoes and pedal of melting sword. This floorboards creak. Couple cans here. Ooh, another postcard. Read that. The sunlight has made this postcard almost completely septic-toned. Midtown traffic passes. Overhead, the ghosts of skyscrapers disappear into a beige midday mist, vapor rising from the delta on which the district was built. The postcard is prepaid. A ball used for playing shot put, the favorite pastime of elderly gentlemen. You felt like you should hold on to this and make good use of it. To sell such beautiful old-school sports equipment would be a sin. Hey, I finally got the ball for them. Okay, well, before I deal with that, there's many other things. Let's investigate over here. Jeez. Skits with slipstream printed in the Raymond top wire. Ooh, here we go. Schedule filament memory. Here. Steel water braids bearing a slipstream logo. The cube-like crisscross filaments feels oddly fragile in your hand. Its intricate structure covered in dust. Silver tape on the side reads production schedule note. This filament contains information that can be read using a radio computer. Aha. Want you to look at this, Kim? Well, shall we? Wait, this is screen circle right here. Scope across a notebook. Developers of the most advanced RPG in the universe.
Tiles on the cube are still smoldering.
The production
Casting the
schedule.
flick like a smooth draw, the filament slides into place. On the keyboard, the play key starts blinking.
Press play again.
The speaker comes to life. Static seeps through the machine's playing a magnetic driver. An old lady greets you.
Here we
Her
go.
voice sounds 100 years old.
Good afternoon. Fortress accident en rue de Saint-Ghislaine. This is East Insulindian Repeater Station 1. Please repeat. Is this the production schedule?
Let's try the password for the production schedule.
Good. Please repeat the password.
Say, after wife death.
Good. I've unlocked the production schedule. After ending the call, please press print to access the filament.
Really? She just used the same password?
Lieutenant seems almost disappointed to discover that. Hey, a lot of people use the same password, Kim.
Fortress accident. Is there anything else I can do for you today?
That's all for now.
Thank you, and goodbye.
The old lady's voice disappears along with the static.
Tiles on the cube are still smoldering, casting the framework in a soft glow. Fluorescent play and print keys shine on the keyboard.
Press print.
With a quiet determination, the printer starts printing, a piece of paper unfolding like a handheld fan. A black crisscross of letters covers its surface.
Read the printout.
It's a project report written by the lead producer, Andrew Andy Schott, about Whirl Untethered, a radio game developed by Studio Fortress Accident.
Untethered.
The first few pages give an overview of the capital and workforce, while the rest of it seems to be a production schedule.
Read about capital. Want to know about money.
In its short time of existence, Fortress Accident, SCA, managed to burn through truly insane amounts of money. The first tranche of seed financing brought in 150,000 Riyal, but then came the delays.
Of course, the delays.
Eventually, the damage reached 400,000 Riyal, with only half of the game finished.
Damn.
400,000 Riyal? Your my your.
These guys knew how to party.
Gosh, where did they get all this money?
Let's just say it was a real adventure for their Igaunian investor.
Read about the workforce. Who worked there? How long?
Fortress Accident employed 18 people. The bulk of the team composed of writers and concept artists. There were also radio programmers, sound engineers, a CEO, 2 marketing experts, and a single overburdened producer who developed a habit of popping Pyrrolidon in the basement to escape his obligations. But on the other hand, their obligations were piling up at an inhumane rate, a rate that could only be amended by Pyrrolidon. Why did Fortress Accident have so many concept artists?
Wait, why did a radio game need so many artists?
It didn't.
It didn't need so many concept artists?
No, definitely not. A few more producers could have come in handy though, especially when dealing with writers, some of whom routinely skipped work because of mental health issues and extremely unprofessional sleep schedules. One of them even managed to steal some valuable company property before skipping town for good.
I don't want to make any assumptions, but because there's 4 different Disco Elysium successors, that means there was some trouble during development of this game. Is this this really feels like just what's happening with the development. Like, they just wrote down what happened with the development of this game. Because the only reason why I would assume this is because there's actually 4 different fucking studios that are all claiming to making the next, Disco Elysium spiritual successor. That means there was problems at this company. So, skim through the production schedule, whatever it is.
The production schedule depicts the glorious descent into bankruptcy.
Because of the concept artists?
Not the concept artists. It wasn't even the writers, with their panic attacks and 3-hour lunches. It was impossible not to fail. The project was too large, and no amount of money could satiate the ever-expanding ambitions of the development team.
Of course.
They tried to make a 4 million real game with 400,000 in their bank account.
Yeah.
They thought they could bridge the gap with pure willpower and imagination. They couldn't.
Oh, so they were done in by their own ambition.
No. Even then, success remained within an ever-narrowing margin of possibility that, despite everything, never entirely disappeared. That is, until they discovered the Valley of the Heads.
The what?
At the 11th hour, the lead designer, Jimsk-born Suliswav Jalisa, decided that what Wirral Untethered needed was a secret mystical location at the extreme edge of the map.
What?
This place was to be the Valley of the Heads, where the heads of all the headless constructs could be found. The player would have been able to choose a head for their headless party member, and each head would have been voiced on air by a professional actor.
How many heads were there?
So many. The last count, there were approximately 10,000 heads for 10,000 headless men.
Jesus
all of which
Christ.
could be endlessly recombined.
How many combinations could you make out of that?
Do you really want to know? There seems to be a calculation here, but it may take a while.
Yeah, how bad could it be? Oh my god! Okay, I'm just gonna... Oh my god. Oh, oh. Uh-oh. Oh god. Oh my god. Jesus Christ! Oh my god!
The lieutenant taps his foot impatiently, his arms folded tight against his chest. He's dying for a cigarette. Come to think of it, you are too.
No. Fuck! It just keeps going. What have I done? Oh my god! I didn't mean for this to happen.
What if you broke the radio computer? What if it's never going to stop?
Just let the numbers wash over you. 000, and that's it.
And that's it.
Okay. So that's what did them in.
Well, yeah, that, and the catastrophic data loss.
This must be the anomaly Suna mentioned in the church log.
On the nature of the data loss, there's ominously little information in the production log. It comes at the very end, where things get fuzzy and dark, where tables and numbers seem to vanish into an eerie nothingness, before the Egonian investors pulled the plug. What is clear is that one day, an unidentified numeric anomaly occurred on the East Insulindian lintel front, just as the Wirral Untethered project was being compiled that day.
Now I can see why she became so obsessive with it, because it destroyed all of the work of all these people. And the anomaly caused all the data to get lost in the air.
When the project was returned, it was completely blank.
Wow.
The team spent weeks on the phone with Lintel, the service provider, but despite their diagnostics, they could never produce a satisfactory explanation or pay for the loss.
Wasn't there a copy of the game? A backup?
Mysteriously enough, it seems that the off-site copy happened to be on-site when the catastrophic data loss occurred. It was the lead programmer's responsibility to oversee weekly maintenance of the off-site copy and, well, keep it off-site. An explanatory note from the lead programmer has been attached.
What does it say?
S. Lukanen Kilda, the lead programmer of Fortress Accident. The off-site copy was on-site because there was no off-site anymore. Not for me, not after 8 months of crunch. I didn't have a home anymore, so I started keeping it in the basement in the ice bear refrigerator near where I went to sleep. It was perfectly safe there. The temperature conditions were optimal.
It's not very convincing, is it?
Her former colleagues would agree with you.
Is there anything else from this lead programmer?
The production schedule ends with a few random notes that seem to be added sometime later.
Where are the notes at the end?
4 months later, by an unknown author. I am the only one left, and it's gotten rather damp here. A few other businesses have gone under, too. Slipstream switched to making skis, and the hairdressers just left, cursing Martinez. They're right, though. Something's seriously wrong with this place. Martinez. All of it. Still haven't got an answer from Lintel about what happened. All I could get were the physical coordinates of the error on the East Insulindian front on that day. Since the computation happened on air, I reckoned it had to coincide with an actually existing location. I have compared the coordinates to a map of Revachol West. Turns out it's only 800 meters from here. The address is Saint-Brun 1147. I am going there to look this thing in the eye. Saint-Brun 1147? That's what the street sign next to the church said.
Suna, tear off the print unforgettable.
Tiles on the cube are still smoldering, casting the framework in a soft glow. Fluorescent play and print keys shine on the keyboard.
Remove the production
The
schedule.
filament slides out of its glowing nest.
Okay, leave. Okay, so since that door probably leads through the basement, I'm curious as to what this is.
An iron safety curtain curves before your eyes, folded like a bellows. It covers half the room, blocking the way into a colossal industrial chimney. This must be where the entity lives.
Knock on it.
What an odd thing to do.
Huh.
Nothing happens.
Knock on it harder.
Still nothing. No one's home.
Knock even harder.
Those curtains prove to be surprisingly sturdy.
Fuck.
Your fist hurts now. If this is really an entrance to the chimney, then there must be a furnace somewhere as well. Maybe there's another way to get in.
Yeah.
Can you please try to refrain from attacking random things?
I can try. Blow gently on your bruised knuckles.
Thanks. In any case, there's no way we can get in right now. Let's investigate further.
Don't worry, that's the first time I've actually thrown a punch, Kim, alright? This entire time. Yeah, let's get to the basement. Find this damn... Oh, well, there it is. Didn't have to work far for it, huh? Ooh, money. Some magnesium as well. That's good. There be the fridge, there be the furnace. Wall collapse. It's insensible now.
A thick layer of cold dust covers the furnace, coloring it pitch black. Looks like this furnace has a face, and it's a face of agony.
Look inside the furnace.
It's dark and grimy here. In the darkness you can hear chatter. It's coming from above.
Ooh.
A voice or several voices talking to each other. Near the smoke chamber, upstairs. The echo is so prominent, it's impossible to discern what the voices are saying or what's producing them.
What are you doing?
Chinna asks when he sees you climb halfway inside the furnace. I'm not sure, Kim, but I think he can hear someone talking upstairs.
Wait, really?
He looks up the ceiling.
Maybe it's coming from behind those safety curtains we saw upstairs.
Oh, yeah. I mean... Smear your hands with coal, no. Tuna with research. I guess, yeah. Yell hello into the furnace, why not?
Something
nice
breaks loose in you.
Oof.
A mighty bellow echoes throughout the chimney's depths. The chatter of tiny voices above suddenly cease. Then...
Hello?
Oh, you hear a woman's voice answer.
You've awakened the entity.
Hello, are you there? Speak to me.
Hello? Did you say anything?
There's a pause.
Can't hear you. Please come upstairs. There's a safety curtain on the second floor. I'll open it.
You hear a low rumble upstairs. The sound of a curtain being pulled aside.
After you, officer.
To announce points upstairs. Leave. Okay, well, let's investigate the rest of this place. The hell? Ice cream maker. Faucet unplugged. Let's see here. Flashlight casts a strange shadow. There's a hidden doorway here. The hell? Ooh. More stuff here. Two rusty rifles hidden above the piping. They're looking up a wall. Someone stuck some blasted guns beneath the ceiling. Oh.
A few bricks have fallen off, revealing a compartment behind the wall. It's too dark to see in.
Oh yeah, we did get a message about like their hidden gun compartments here. Look, there's a hole in the wall. Shine light on the hidden compartment.
There is, yes. And there also appears to be something inside the hole. Interesting. Do you want to take a look?
Okay, I do. Look inside.
Your hand reaches deep into darkness and spiderwebs. Rummaging around, you find rusty rifles hidden away.
Inspect the rifles.
Most of them are rusty and inoperable, like the rest. But one catches your eye. A bolt-action model with a fine wood stock in better cosmetic order than the others. Take it. You're a police officer. Police officers carry guns.
This one looks nice. Take the rifle.
That's a rare sight. Seems to no longer be functional, but still a beautiful thing in its own way.
10 notes of approval. Size agreement. Where are we? Look around the secret room.
Seems like an old bunker from the revolutionary period. Look at all those rifles.
He points up at the rifles.
Must be an old weapons cache.
What does this mean, a rifle here?
It means there are firearms, breech loaders, still lying around in Martinez. This would have been good in our case against Ruby for Titus.
Yeah.
Too late for that now. But still, might be useful down the road.
He likes this find.
Well, I got a fucking rifle now. Holy shit. A broken bell mockery from ages past. It's a 4-shot board action military rifle with a wooden frame. Well, neat. Yeah, I could have helped against Titus, but hey. Whoa, there is just so much shit in here. There's an ice cream maker that's still running. Money. More nosepad. Looks like we got a box
Two
down there.
cables are plugged into the breaker box. The red one leads off into the darkness, and the black one to the ice cream maker nearby. Rip the red one out.
No.
Look how giant and red and inviting it is. Don't rip the red one out. You'll awaken the ghosts.
I mean... I'd rather investigate before we... Also, there's an upstairs here. And a downstairs, too. Ooh, insane mesh tank top. Nice. Took on wires wanting to the breaker box. God, there is just so much shit. The hell? Silhouetted windows, people's feet shuffling by on the street. Okay, where does this lead to? Where the hell are we going? Going somewhere, that's for sure. Let's see where we end up. Oh! We're here. Huh. Neat. Well then. I don't want to fuck with the...
Two cables. Don't rip the red one out. You'll awaken
Unplug the
something
black
close
cable.
to you dies with a soft electric purr.
Why did you do that?
I don't know why I unplugged it. Because it's black, the color of immeasurable cosmos.
The lieutenant raises his brows, but doesn't say anything. The electric distribution board now has one cable missing.
Okay, so don't unplug the red cable plug-in.
Somewhere, a machine hums along with the current, happy and contented.
I do not want to unplug the giant red one and cut the power to something. But anyway, let's finally open up this damn bear
You
fridge.
see a terrifying ice bear with a strange compartment in its belly. The door is covered in frost, and the bear's eyes are glowing red. This ice bear is a hyper carnivore. Be careful. The bear looks oddly realistic. Is it taxidermy?
Could be.
This must be the giant ice bear fridge that Suna mentioned. Look inside.
Crack open the door.
A gust of freezing cold air rushes to greet you. You hear a low grumble as the bear regulates itself. This is the inside of a refrigerator. The lieutenant takes a peek inside. His hand has found the holster of his gun.
Relax, Kim. It's a fridge.
Of course, just a giant ice bear-shaped fridge.
He relaxes his hand, his face bathed in the harsh white of the open fridge door.
Let's take a look inside.
Look inside the refrigerator.
The shelves are empty. All you see are crumpled ice cream wrappers with the brand name, Revachol Ice City. A handwritten note has been attached to the door. The fridge is huge. But where's the filament memory? It's not here.
Hey, I can't see the offsite copy anywhere. Check the shelves again.
Someone must have taken it. What does the note say?
Take the note from the door.
You pocket the note and the little fridge magnets keeping it on the door.
Give me one of the ice cream wrappers in there.
A friendly cartoon bear smiles back at you from a glossy cellophane wrapper. It looks nothing like the fridge. The paper still smells of vanilla and chocolate.
There's a giant bear-shaped fridge you in Ben cellar in the first place.
Good question. It looks like an ice cream fridge.
Lieutenant reaches for one of the wrappers. He studies it in the white.
Somewhere in the past, it's summer. 5-year-old Fifette lets go of her mother's hand, change jingling in her pockets as she hops towards the ice cream stand right across the plaza.
Shake from the sudden cold sensation.
As she makes her way to the market stall, the girl starts crying. A ferocious ice bear is guarding the fridge, its paws raised to ward off any potential customers. Her mother rushes to soothe her, but Fifette doesn't want ice cream anymore. She just wants to go home. The ice bear stares at them as they leave the plaza. A gust of wind flies one of the wrappers right past the sobbing girl.
So they try to sell ice cream from this hyper carnivore.
I know.
She says every
What
time.
an unfortunate marketing choice.
Yeah. I mean, it's impressive, but still.
What is even worse, the bear is still costing them money to this day.
The lieutenant points at the red, snaky cable running from the fridge.
The fridge buzzes with energy. The electricity bill on this thing must be catastrophic.
Close the door. So it is. Let's take a look at this note. Hand note you found from the giant ice bear fridge. Still bears some marks on the fruit-shaped kitchen magnets that you used to secure it to the refrigerator door.
The note is written with a blue pencil on a piece of lined office paper. The kitchen magnets have left spots on its surface.
Does it say anything interesting?
Turn winds closer to with the crumpled note over your shoulder.
This is tangential at best, but the lieutenant's detective instinct is still active.
Read that note.
Someone has scribbled, S. I can't believe the off-site copy is still here. The illiterate ginger kid keeps stealing stuff from the studio, so I had to hide it somewhere safe.
Goddamn Kuno.
You'll find the filament memory with the off-site copy in the frozen ice cream maker. Please take it home, ASAP. It's important. I'd do it myself if I lived in a civilized place with a freezer. Take care, Suliswav.
Someone has moved the filament, but who?
Sulislav. Wasn't he one of Miss Lukanen's co-workers?
He also said.
I remember coming across this name when we were reading her personal log.
Do you have any idea where the frozen ice cream maker could be?
I don't know. I assume it's somewhere close to the ice bear fridge.
Didn't you see one right next to the breaker box?
It's, alright, put the note away. Alright, let's check the ice cream then.
This orange machine is buzzing like an old submarine. It has a hand-cranked ice cream churner on top and an electric freezer that appears to be frozen shut.
Well, let's first unplug it.
2 cables are plugged. Something close to you dies with a...
Very smart. Opening the lid should be much easier after the ice cream maker has defrosted.
Yeah. Believe.
This orange machine is dead still. It has a hand-cranked ice cream churner and an electric freezer. The ice around it slowly melting.
Try to crack open the lid.
You slip your fingers under the frozen lid, but the ice is too cold for you to get a good grip. A pry bar would come in handy here, or something stronger, like the Kvalsund KR2 multi-tool.
Didn't Sona give you a perfect tool for this kind of job? The Kvalsund. You should take it out.
Yeah, don't worry.
Equip the multi-tool by going to the Tools tab in your inventory. From there...
Don't worry, I got this. Don't worry. I know what I'm doing. Jeez. No, that's a tape player. I got both of these in my hand. Nice. Alright, now. Take this out. No. Let me get rid of this real quick. And equip the hand. Here we go. Alright. Maybe I just have to use
this orange machine is dead still. It has a hand-cranked ice cream churner and
crack
an
open the
electric
wood.
freezer. The ice squeaks beneath the Kvalsund multi-tool, but your fingers slip away from the tool. The lid shuts as tightly as before.
Damn.
And it's already unplugged. There's not much else to do other than wait for it to defrost or bulk up and get stronger.
God damn it. Son of a bitch. So I do have to get stronger with physical instrument. Well, damn me, eh? Damn me indeed. Alright, well, shit. Alright, well, Kim, let's go back upstairs. I have to get stronger, unfortunately. Damn, I thought the tool would just give it to me automatically, but oh well. Alright. Ooh. Wow. Someone has been living here. Trays full of dice. Colorful polyhedral dice. Hundreds of them. Candy dispenser's been reproduced to contain thousands of dice. Okay, let me unclip my flashlight real quick. Why, hello there.
Hello. I'm Nia.
A bird-like woman sits on the throne of tools with emerald white shining through her hair.
Did you try knocking on my window? I must have missed you. I've been listening to my Melius.
She taps on her headphones.
So what kind of die are you looking for?
Could this be the malicious entity?
Yeah.
Perhaps it's wise to go along with this masquerade for now. She's got a direct view to the backyard. You should interrogate her about the lynching.
You must have me confused with someone else. I haven't knocked on your window.
Then how did you get inside? By the south entrance?
She blinks.
You know what? It doesn't even matter. What matters is that you're finally here. Let's talk dice. Did you have something specific in mind?
Hold on, what do you mean by Miles?
Yes, Amelia is like a call-in station. You need a two-way radio to access one. That's why I have these.
She pats the headphones on the table.
Mostly, they just teach you to swear in different languages. But some of the stations can be quite interesting. I was so absorbed, I must have missed you knocking.
Why are you asking me about dice?
I'm a novelty dice maker.
She says.
Tell me the name of your role-playing system and I'll make the die you need. That's why you're here, yes?
Huh.
Role-playing games? You know the one made by Fortress Accident. Does that count?
Sure, No, I was looking for something else. Squint your eyes mysteriously. Answers.
Answers? How strange. These days people only come to me for dice and role-playing games. I'm not sure how helpful I'll be, but go ahead and ask.
The walls around are covered with rows of precious stones and minerals.
It almost looks as if the stones and dice are a natural part of the room, growing out of the shells like stalagmites. This person means you, or no one else, absolutely no harm. She will answer freely and honestly.
Yeah, she does have that vibe.
No falsehoods are present. She's a novelty dice maker and doesn't have anything to hide. Ask what you need.
How did you become a dice maker?
How did I become one? It was a business decision. I was a regular jeweler at first, but that's an unfocused field with too much competition. Some of my friends were role players. They asked me to make some polyhedral dice out of cobalt. That was my first order. I grew it from there.
Do you like role-playing games yourself?
Not especially. I like working with rare materials and a steady pay. And role players as customers? They're nice people.
Some of those nice people have big bucks to spend on novelty items.
Fuck, hell yeah. These fucking people love dice.
She's thankful for the security they provide her.
What do you know about the man who was once behind the rolling logs?
Nothing really. I didn't know him.
Who cares about the dead body? We might be dealing with a malignant entity here. The lieutenant looks at his notebook, then the woman under the large window.
Your window looks directly onto the courtyard. You're saying you didn't see or hear anything unusual last Sunday evening?
I'm sorry, detective, but as you know, I usually have my headphones on when I'm working. It shuts out most of the daily ruckus behind my window.
What do you mean by the daily ruckus?
Well, there's always something going on in the Whirling's backyard.
She stops to try and come up with an example.
During daytime, there are usually those kids. And lately, I've been seeing a lot of drunk workers hanging about. Must be because of the strike.
She's heard of the murder, but did not see it, sire. She's not sorry to disappoint you. Informing on someone in a murder investigation would intrude upon her focused existence.
But I never saw anyone during that fateful Sunday night, I'm afraid.
And you never took your eyes off the work to look out the window?
I might have, but in this case, all I would have seen is my own reflection staring back from the darkness.
It's light here, but dark in the yard at night.
It's really hard to make anything out in the yard when it's dark outside. Besides, I rarely get up to look out the window when I'm in the zone.
Do you often work Sunday nights?
It's an odd profession, making dice for people, but I like it, and I prefer doing this to sitting at home.
It is a good profession. I see. Thank you for your answers.
She nods.
Anything else, officer?
Hey, where are we anyway? What is this place?
We're inside the chimney of an old central furnace. It's strange, I know.
She looks at the woody bricks that make up the walls. Even though they've been repainted, there are still signs of coal-black soot here and there.
But when I arrived here, all the other rooms were taken, so I had to build myself a makeshift home. Besides, I don't really have to pay any rent here, so that's a plus.
Plaisance was right. There's an entity living in the chimney. You should ask her about the curse.
Creative.
The lieutenant looks around the spacious room, ceiling fading to shadows above.
When she arrived here, there was no room anywhere else. She must have known the other businesses.
I've heard this place is cursed. Do you know that people called it the doomed commercial area?
I've heard the stories, but I don't think those stories are true.
From the furnace shaft above. Presence is the one who sent me. She's convinced that the place is swarming with malicious energies.
Plaisance, the bookshop lady?
She raises
I've
her
heard that
eyebrows.
her business is doing rather well. Have the energies spared her somehow?
Actually, the bookstore isn't doing that well. They're hardly any customers, and she has to. Yeah. Boy, her own daughter to keep the company going.
Oh, right. But it's not just the bookstore that's still up and running. What about the whirling in racks? Some people say it's part of the building complex.
Well, the whirling isn't doing well either. Its waitress just took off, and customers have trouble paying bills.
And then there is me.
She sighs. Getting a messy work table. All kinds of tools lie there scattered, from knives to carving files to wire cutters.
I've been here for 14 years, selling novelty dice to role-playing enthusiasts. Not exactly a million-real business idea, yet somehow I've survived despite the talk of malicious energies. Strange, isn't it?
It's an interesting thought.
It's because she's in cahoots with the demons. Maybe it's just because she's so talented that she's been able to woo the curse.
Parsons thinks it's because you're the source of it. A malignant entity.
Malignant entity? What does that even mean? Some kind of sorceress? What about you, officer? Do you think I'm the malignant entity?
The jig is... The she-demon knows you've uncovered her true identity.
Shut up, half-right.
Time has come to face the source. Fear not, for the forces of the universe are supporting you in this psychic quest.
I'm starting to see that there is no curse, only business decisions and natural market fluctuations.
Exactly.
She pitches
Truth
the
is
root of her
always
nose.
so disappointingly mundane and boring.
Yeah, that's why for you.
But I'm glad we got this sorted out. Anything else I can help you with today?
That's all she has to say on the subject. She's been thorough and truthful, as far as we can see. Plaisance is not going to like what you have to tell her.
Yeah. Do you know what happened to the other tenants? Everyone else is gone.
More or less.
She
Are you
adjusts her
interested
hair
in
scarf
anyone
to cover her
specific?
hair.
Oh, quite a lot of them spring to mind. Rats scuttle in the dark rooms under the abandoned blow
My
dryers
God.
and dusty mannequins. Cobwebs cover rotors and radio computers alike. So much failure.
There used to be a hair salon here, right?
Yes, I think it was called Androgynous Orlando or something similar. They weren't a big hit around here. Turns out that working class men don't like genderless haircuts. They're scared of that word.
A bit of experimenting every now and then isn't bad.
What's wrong with a bit experimenting? Customers should have been more open-minded.
I guess it just wasn't the time yet.
She tucks a strand of hair under the headscarf. What happened to the gym?
It wasn't merely a gym, it was Artemitep's boxing club. A community project created to steer at-risk youth away from drugs and crime.
And who was Ultimate Pit?
A kind man from Zemsk. I heard he had some trouble with the law when he was younger, and that's why he wanted to start the gym, as his way of giving back.
Maybe that's what Kuno needs. Community-centric boxing club.
Kuno.
Her eyes
Who's Kuno?
narrow and dim light. Yeah. Indeed. Who is Kuno? She's a little ginger gremlin who likes to defy. Well, indeed, who is Kuno? Your guess is as good as mine.
Oh yes, you mean the kid with the sailor's mouth. Yes, I've heard him yelling profanities in the backyard.
She looks out of the window. It's awfully quiet there at the moment. Yeah, because I made him shut up.
I think it would take more than a gym to help that kid.
How did that community project work out?
It didn't. If anything, it made the youth situation in Martinez even worse. At some point, someone started a rumor that the punching bag downstairs was full of amphetamines.
You should have known it. It's not really full of that. No one would store their drugs like that.
Yeah, who the fuck would put their drugs in their punch bag?
Eventually, the coalition took away the funding and the club went bankrupt. This was a few years ago. It's gotten much more peaceful around the plaza ever since.
What's up with the broken windows?
Oh, this one's a mess.
She sighs.
There used to be a company that promised to repair windows 24 hours a day. What could go wrong with this one, right?
Yeah.
Turns out, the business was actually set up as a front for an illicit group that was producing snuff milias. Who would have guessed?
Snuff milias.
What's a snuff milia?
Yeah. The hell is
Trust
that?
me, you don't want to know.
And they never cleaned up the debris either. Now it's just littering the hallway and I have no idea how to get rid of it on my own.
Cool. Cool. Very cool about the buoy. But what's a snuff manure?
It's a sub-Rosa radio station that broadcasts real murders with no victims. Some people pay good money to get off on it.
So, Red Room.
Nothing changes in her tone as she says that. As if it's just another piece of information to lay out for the world.
So, common? What are you saying?
What does she mean to get off on it?
We can probably guess that.
Don't worry, the ICP has a separate division that deals exclusively with unlicensed sub-roses. This isn't our problem.
Good luck with that. It's not easy catching those perpetrators.
She lets the fuck go. Did someone here make stuffed animals? Saw mounts lying around.
You mean Mr. Fabron, the taxidermist? No, he mostly just did drugs.
But what drugs exactly?
Reddit. Pass.
Anything else?
Found creepy mannequins.
There used to be a fashion atelier here, but I have forgotten the head designer's name. They were doing well for a couple of years, until the insect rights activists came.
Insect right activists? I don't know the name of...
The atelier produced a certain collection that used chitin among the materials. Apparently chitin is made in the Occident, where it's extracted from beetle wings.
Insect rights, huh?
And you know how all kinds of political movements are big in the Occident. The activists shut down the biggest chitin supplier, which of course caused the price to skyrocket. And, naturally, all the most fashionable tastemakers refused to be seen in chitin from then on. The atelier went bankrupt before they could finish the collection.
But insects don't have any brains or feelings.
Actually, insects do have brains.
She
but
corrects you.
yes, I understand what you're saying. I think the protesters took it a little too far.
Yeah, I bet.
As she shifts around, you notice several dead flies on the windowsill in front of her. Legs up. They're not moving.
I mean, who hasn't killed a couple insects? Huh? I mean, I definitely have.
Anything else?
What's up with the rotoblades and skis?
They were made by a company called Slipstream. After they pivoted from making rotor blades to skis, their chief executive took off on a vacation with all their money.
She rests her chin on her hand with an impish smile.
Honestly, I think it's quite funny. I think he's still sending out holiday transmissions from Tulula or Tiumotiri or Hashtkor or wherever he is.
Interesting. What do these transmissions say?
The usual, I imagine. That he's been thinking up all kinds of new business plans and can't wait to get started on them just as soon as he returns.
Her smile widens before she sees the lieutenant's face behind you.
Men like that are a curse.
Lieutenant is stern.
Sure, but Slipstream is history now. All their remaining assets got seized by the bailiffs in 47. I have no idea why those skis and blades are still lying around in the house. Not much use now, I guess.
They were just the props. Why return them? Maybe you could make a sword out of one. No, wait, forget it. It would take too long.
Found a strange machine.
Fortress Accident, the radio game studio.
She closes her eyes as some remnant of a memory whites up her face.
She liked them.
Yeah.
They were an interesting bunch. We talked about role-playing systems every now and then. Once, I even saw two of them get into fisticuffs over Wirral.
Wow.
They certainly took their work very seriously, even if they seemed to be chronically liberal with their schedules.
They had some kind of accident with the... What do you mean, Ribble? What happened?
The usual. They ran out of money and couldn't get the project done on time.
What went wrong?
Well, I did hear them talking at times.
She walks up the hallway as if she can still hear them chit-chat behind their curtains on a cigarette break.
They seemed to believe they were historical individuals on some grand quest.
Nah.
She sounds almost mocking when she says that.
From what I've seen so far, the project did look quite impressive.
Yes, but when the money started to run out, they just began to complain a lot about capitalism. You know, how the markets are rigged to keep out new businesses and so on. In the end, they just didn't get it done. They didn't have enough willpower to produce something truly historic, and to show up to work on time.
She's right. Showing up to work on time is important. Showing up to work on time is hard. No, scratch that. Showing up to work at all is difficult, especially if you've been drinking.
That's too bad. I would have supported them. Project looked great.
Not the wisest decision. You would have lost all your savings.
Tosses a pair of dice on the table. One of them stops near the edge of the metallic desk.
The result is 1 on a 20-sided die.
Unlucky.
The dice is black and filled with little silvery flakes, like snowfall.
Anything else?
There is a terrifying taxidermied bear in the cellar.
Oh boy, the fabled Revachol ICT. You're in for a treat here.
She smiles and leans closer, hands on her knees like a stand-up comedian ready to tell a story.
The place was owned by two guys who had some rather innovative ideas about marketing. The bear was one of them. Now ask me about their other ideas.
Alright.
Indeed. What were the other ideas?
Alright, what about the other ideas?
There was really just one. And it involved picking out the prettiest girls in the neighborhood and paying them 20 cents per hour to man the booth.
Ah, so booth babes, eh? A thing that used to happen at specifically convention centers. More specifically for back in the 2000s.
And by man the booth, I mean slump behind the counter with a face that could maim you if you ever dared to disturb their bored magazine browsing.
She leans back disapproving.
Sounds like she really didn't like those girls.
Ah.
Fritta does the same thing.
I know a girl just like that. She works in Fritta as a cashier and she's not particularly friendly.
Employing silky teenage girls is a widespread practice, yes. Unfortunately, they always come in packs. I'm talking about acne-ridden girlfriends and gorilla-like boyfriends loitering near the shop. At least that's what happened with Revachol ICT. And they already had the bear.
She closes her eyes as if remembering something painful. What about the bear?
The bear.
She repeats, pressing thumbs into her temples like trying to suppress a headache. It didn't work out.
Of course not. The bear was terrifying. No one wants ice cream guarded by a hostile apex predator. To make matters worse, the fridge didn't work too well either, and half the ice cream came out malformed and partially melted.
Wow, it wasn't even a good fucking fridge.
Eventually, Revachol ICT lost the price war to its rival, Glacé 5000. Glacé 5000 sold caramel sundaes for only 5 cents a piece, out of regular fridges.
It's the market doing its job, not some way.
Maybe, because the taxidermist who made the bear definitely wasn't. Doing his job, I mean.
How come?
He said that the bear was his vision beast. He said he met his vision beast while high on desiccants. Called it Megatherian.
Baddest hustler in the neoliberal hood. Preach free market for 9 times.
Sounds cool. Scary, but cool.
That's a Megathon.
Megatherian. A mega wild beast.
That's it, that's me. What's a mega wild beast?
It's an imaginary beast that guides you through life.
Mega wild beast, damn.
By telling you to do more drugs, mostly.
Are you the beast in my fucking head?
A wise and noble beast, guiding you toward the land where the streets are paved with
I don't do drugs.
Very good. You shouldn't do them.
Breakthrough.
You're a police officer after all.
That's a dice maker.
Anyway, now you know the story of the fallen ice cream empire.
She seems almost sad finishing the story. Some dust beams soar in the afternoon air. Her eyes follow it idly.
Little sparkling embers under the window. Outside it's light. Light scatters from the low-hanging cloud cover. There's always the threat of snow.
Indeed.
Anything else? Another failed business, perhaps? I've been here for a long time.
Found the building's intercom, but it's not working.
Oh, right.
She rubs her
I hope
forehead.
you didn't try to ring me.
A faint whine on her dusky skin.
I think none of those doorbells work, including mine. I'm still in the middle of connecting the wires. Sorry about the confusion.
So you're telling me that you have a doorbell there? Which one?
The one with an empty name card. It's the last one in the list. As I said, it's quite useless right now. It doesn't work yet.
I have a few more questions about the building.
Sure, I'm listening.
Other questions?
Good. I hope it clarified things a bit. What else?
Weave. What's this? Oh, my thought, of course.
Fairweather T500. Remember that weakness you were looking for in the ceramic armor? Like, maybe it can only stop small, fast projectiles, but a large, slow-moving pry bar would shatter it? Or, if I run an electrical current through it, maybe it will melt. Or, personal favorite, frequency something something radio weapon? None of that would work. You need to shoot the part of the enemy that doesn't have Fairweather T500 on it, because the armor itself is invulnerable. Good news is, so are the armor pieces on you.
Okay, cool. Those are my bonuses. Hey, +2 hand-eye coordination. Well, I mean, hey, that's good. So I just have to use my gloves to protect myself. That's good. Partners, project. Okay, well, that's soon enough for help. Alright. I gotta get that fucking thing open, fortunately, so let me... Oh, wait. Yep.
It's dark.
It states the obvious.
And the flashlight works a lot better if you hold it in your hand.
Fair. No, got it, Kim. No need to rub it in. Jeez, I just forgot. Alright, give me a second. Don't want to put the flashlight in the poor girl's face. Alright, let's go report back, shall we? Since I can't open up the damn ice cream maker. Or maybe I could go back to Suna, for it at least. Because it is way too fucking... It's way too much for me. Too much. Alright, let me put this real far away. Okay. Let me go report back to her real quick. Finish up this quest line.
You're alive and well. Don't keep me waiting now. What's in there?
She's looking for the
in
right
that
expression.
dark sarcophagus.
The dark sarcophagus. Pause dramatically.
Yes, yes. How was it?
Tell her how ghastly it was. You know it's what she wants to hear.
But I don't want her to, you know, it's what she... Should I tell the truth or not? This is the thing. This, it doesn't tell me what to do. I could lie to her, but I don't want to. Honestly, a dump. Nothing to see there, just heaps of garbage. Someone should let the sun shine on.
But what else did you find? Did anything survive? No, of course not. Have you located the entity?
I talked to the entity you told me about. Her name is Neha, and she's a novelty dice maker.
A novelty dice maker?
Her eyes widen.
Well, spit it out. Why does she need the dice? For some kind of sorcery? Sometimes they use the ankle bones of sheep.
No, ma'am. I have felt her aura. She is not the one to blame for this curse.
I don't understand. If it's not her, then where is the source of the doom? How did she explain the curse?
She looks perplexed.
Before you say anything, ask yourself, is the woman really able to withstand the truth? The narrative she's built herself, it does need tearing down. Just don't say you don't have any answer yet.
Okay.
The uncertainty is killing her. To hell with it. Perchance you ought to just lie, sire.
I don't want to lie to this poor woman. I feel like she needs to. She'll go crazy, you know, thinking it's some curse, but it should be her herself doing the business decisions. Okay. She says there is no curse because there are too many inconsistencies.
Too many inconsistencies? What kind of talk is that?
The woman scoffs at you with an audible snort.
Good luck persuading her. Some people can rationalize anything.
As I said, she's a novelty dice maker. Her business has been up and running for a long time now.
Yes, because her business consists of the psychic leech that's been feeding the curse.
Red blotches appear on her skin.
I see that you've fallen for her manipulation, Detective. The investigation is over. I just hope that you haven't made anything worse by going in there. Thank you for nothing. Please, do buy some books, or be on your way.
She concludes, tucking the pendant away in her blouse.
Wow. Total psychic collapse between you two right now. There was never any other way this could have gone. She's just too far gone into her own mind.
I guess you just can't convince some people, you know?
I am sorry we had to disappoint you, ma'am.
Turns to you.
Can we go now?
The shop around you feels ancient suddenly, damp and saturated by the coastal air. The books are rotting. A great cold lives here, and there, too. 1,200 meters away, on the urban coast, the dark shape of a church is reflected on the water, calling.
Okay, well, let me level up my physical instrument, shall I? Farewell for now. Yeah, I was never gonna get that. Unfortunately, I could never convince her. She's just too far gone into it. Oh well. Well then, oh shit. What's this?
All around you, rain falls on the great city of Revachol. Rain drips from the eaves and floods the gutters, washing the filth away.
God, this is the biggest view of the map we've seen.
The spring thaw must be here. The snow is melting.
What am I doing?
Looking up at the sky, cold water dripping from your hat.
What do I see?
Grey sky like great battleships, clouds colliding with one another. Rain falls down on the world.
How does it feel?
Your shirt sticks to your chest. The shoulders of your jacket grow heavy. The cold finds its way under your skin. You shiver, and the city shivers with you. You're not dressed for this weather. You should get an overcoat or a patrol clerk.
What's in the north?
Capeside apartments. Tower blocks crowd one another. 4.46mm bullets still lodged in their war-torn stone walls. Hallways collapse from the mortar hits of a war that was lost long ago. Clotheslines go to waste in the rain. Radios play. The news at noon.
And closer to here?
A yard. Rain falls onto the roof of a woodshed. The lingering odor of decomposition mixes with that of damp soil.
It's in the west.
Sheets of rain over the water. A flight of stairs leading into the ocean. Wave after wave washing the coast of Martinaise, with its motorboats and gently swaying reeds. The ruins of a half-sunken sea fort crumble on an inlet beyond the Bay of Revachol. Ghosts rise into the sky.
Who are you, ghosts?
The skyscrapers of La Delta, the financial district. Faint golden light seeps from the office windows. Will you ever go there?
Will I?
No, you are just one of the hundreds of thousands who watch them rise across the bay from Martinez every day.
It's down the shore.
Urban coastline, rain dripping off Eternite-covered roofs, cinder blocks left over from half-finished construction, a defunct research and development building once seized by revolutionaries. An old wooden church stands on stilts above the water.
Beyond that,
Coal City, end of all lines.
Run your fingers through your dampened hair.
Your hair is an oily mess flecked with ash from neighboring coal plants. Smokestacks rise somewhere in the distance.
What's on the east?
There's a fleet on the corner. A plastic coat is folded into a small triangle under the counter by the window. Beyond that, the strikebreakers have gathered. The great gates of the industrial harbour are locked. A chill runs down your back. You shudder like an animal trying to shake water from its hide.
Clench your teeth to stop shuddering.
Behind the gates, heaps of supply crates, red and blue metal shipping containers, slick with rain. The Greater Revachol Industrial Harbour is an artificial mountain range. Immense wealth resides within, and immeasurable poverty in its shadow.
And beyond that,
La Drusienne, King Dri's passenger harbour. Cruise ships flanked by dock arms. Cranes watching over the mouth of the river distributary.
It's cost of
Couron,
distribution.
the lower middle class. Distributary after distributary cuts the city blocks in half. 7-story buildings trail off into the rain.
What is beyond the Couron?
A silvery curtain of rain over the houses. The class divide. You have never been there. They don't need the law east of the river.
What's in the south?
A traffic jam. Rain thrumming on the roofs of motor vehicles. Inside, drivers watch water streaming down their windshields. The statue of a king shudders. He too is cold. The canal bridge has been raised.
What's on the other side?
The road ascends. A raised motorway loops above the ghetto. Beneath its concrete columns, a sea of rooftops, woodwork, and tar stretches northward. 4-story buildings as far as the rain can fall. The snows melt in Jamrock.
Where the hood, where the hood, where the hood at? Where the...
Have a brother in the cut. Where the hood at?
That's so fucking good. Where the hood, where the wood, where the hood at? And why am I not there?
To be in Martinez, where no one goes, at the runoff point of a long-forgotten canal, in the whitest part of town, in the shadow of the day the revolution fell.
What am I doing here?
Standing in the rain, looking north, where Jamrock Rock City stretches inland.
Shudder. Look further.
In the rain-swept distance, above the rooftops of Jamrock, a repurposed silk mill stands perched above the motorway exit. Precinct 41 hunches in the rain.
Okay.
Your vision blurs. You wipe your face with your hand. The rain stings your eyes, making you look up and blink.
What's above?
Coalition aerostatics hang like apparitions under the cloud cover. Way up there, where rain forms, rotors flutter silently. Your sight clears.
Motherfucker.
This rain will not let up anytime soon. I'd recommend you put on your coat.
Well, first I have to get this ball to these gentlemen over here. Finally got a ball for them. I want to finally finish this. Start all the way back.
Vigilance officer, what can this old carabiner do for you?
Found you guys a new ball. Hold out the ball.
What is this?
Always stares
Are
and
you
sharp
mocking
in
us?
silence. Speaks
This
in his
isn't for
voice.
pétanque.
Now, no need to get angry again, René. I'm sure the officer tried his best. It's not like there's a bull kiosk here in Martinez.
Yeah. I'm very sorry. It's the best I could find.
The best, huh? This isn't even a bull.
Expecting the ball.
But fine. I guess you did attempt to right your hooliganism. Consider it forgiven.
Is there anything you can tell me about this rifle? Hold out the antique firearm.
It's a Bell McGrave.
He says taking the rifle.
4.46 caliber. Breech loading. Revachol made. Good weapon. Accurate and reliable. This one's inoperable. The bolt spring is missing and the mechanism is jammed shut. Still a beauty.
Yeah, it's him doing what.
Where did you find her?
In the basement there. Point at the bookshelf.
I'm not surprised.
He looks at the
There
building.
are probably lots of forgotten wartime weapons lying around here. Back in the day, everyone had something stashed away. As for the rifle, I don't know what else to tell you.
He shrugs.
These BM-446s are an antique. No one uses them anymore. The ammunition is impossible to find.
Thank you. Alright, at least we got that. Alright, now what is... I want to try one more time at the ice cream machine. Well, if it don't work, it don't work. But if it does work, that'd be awesome. Alright. Wait. Don't forget. Equip this. I can't believe how fucking big this thing is. Jesus. It's one
This
of the
orange
toolbox.
machine is dead still.
Okay.
It has a hand-cranked ice cream churner and an electric freezer. The ice around
Wait.
slowly melting.
Wait. Before we've gotta put on some clothes real quick. Alright? There's some clothes that can help me with this. +1 physical. Alright, put on this tank top. Give me that. Hey. I guess, yeah. Okay, that. Anything else to give me more physical things? Composure, shivers. Ooh. Better get that on as well later. Interfacing, encyclopedia, pain threshold. We'll also put that on as well. Pain threshold, empathy, rhetoric, that, logic, +1 drama. Okay, jeez, really one thing. Give me one physical? Well, fuck it.
This orange machine is dead still.
Even.
It has a
Go for
hand-cranked
it.
ice cream churner and ice groans and
Nice!
howls under the strain of your giant Gewalzund multi-tool until the lid cracks open.
Bingo, baby.
Darkness lies inside, but you can faintly make out an object, intricate and foreign. Left there for a sub-zero beauty sleep, a filament memory with the words off-site copy written on its side. Disappointment washes over you as you stare into the almost empty ice cream maker.
What? No ice cream?
A scoop of ice cream would have been nice, yes.
Lieutenant agrees. Someone's stomach grumbles. The room feels very cold. Take the filament memory.
You gently lift the cube from its frosty bedding, careful not to damage it.
Perfect.
We should take it back to Miss Lucan and Kilda as soon as possible. I'm not sure how well unused filaments tolerate room temperatures.
Yeah.
Yes, but aren't you curious to know what's on the precious filament? There's a radio computer upstairs.
No, I don't want to mess with it. That's for damn sure. I do not want to mess with it at all. So, let me put away this. Okay. Then go over to my clothes. Actually, I guess I'll look at the items. The cube-like crisscross of filaments feels oddly fragile in your hand. Its intricate structure still cold to the touch. Silver tape on the side reads, off-site copy. Note, this filament contains information that can be read using a radio computer. Well, let me put on my, dress shirt. +1 logic. +1 logic has really helped me out. Maybe I go for the insane mesh tank top, but I already have +2 drama. I want to keep to the logic for right now, so put on the dress shirt. Also, better be sure to put that and that on for +1 shiver, so I can absolutely make sure I get that damn. I can finally get Ruby, finally. But I feel like this is a perfect time to end things here. We went a little longer than I wanted, but I just did not expect that basement to be so as full as possible. Like, I was going to end the episode as soon as we got, like, explored the rest of that building, but it just kept on spiraling. But, yeah, next episode, we're probably going to start off by going to the apartments and talking to Joyce as well, since she can fast travel us to the other island. And once we're there, we'll fill up the traps, give the cube back to Runa, and yeah, and finally, I feel like after doing all of those things, I can finally go over to the mural and finally find where Ruby is. After all this time, since I've maxed out my shivers, and I'll put on the best crows for that at this point. But yeah, once again, another just awesome, episode. Like, I have to say, this game reminds me a lot of Pathologic. Not in just the whole European aesthetic that this game definitely has, more so in how it feels. Like, it takes place in relatively a small, like, town, a small section of a larger whole. Pathologic is much more... No, I feel like it does have kind of the same vibe as this, but Pathologic is more, how can I put it, more mystical rather than this. This game does have its elements of spirituality and mysticism, definitely, but it's not as much as Pathologic. If you guys have seen or played Pathologic, you can understand where I'm coming from with this point. But I don't know, I really love these cast of characters. Every character feels so different from one another, really. From the main players to, like, the side characters, really. Once again, I'm just enjoying the hell out of this game. I mean, we're almost at 4 fucking hours. Maybe it's probably 2 in the edit. But I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode. If you did, hit that subscribe button. If you liked it, hit the like button. What time is anything? Put it down in the comments below. Check out Discord server I hang out in. My church. Check description below. And yeah, it's been Voidlego. I'll see you guys next time. See ya!